College Football 25 is out, and the Dynasty mode has a ton of new features that are going to make it so much more exciting and dynamic. And to take advantage of all the new mechanics, I wanted to do something crazy. And I reset College Football to 2002 and resimulated history till 2023. So for each season, I will create the top 23 recruits from the real-life recruiting class of that season. And then we will track the recruiting process to see where each one of them ends up. The recruiting in College Football 25 is completely revamped and adds a ton of depth to the whole process. And now there's a whole new off-season transfer portal. So when star players are unhappy, they can leave and join a new program. And the recruiting process will be what catapults teams to the top of the college football world. We'll also follow along with each season, looking at player stats, tracking team records, jumping into some of the biggest games from the season to watch live. Plus, there is now the college football playoffs, so we'll be following along with that, and we will see who is crowned national champion at the end of each season. In total, I created over 420 recruits over 19 recruiting classes, and we'll be simulating through 21 seasons. And this series will be 4 parts in total and will be 12 hours long. So this is going to be episode 2 of this series, and we'll be going for 5 seasons from 2008 until 2012. All right, so here we go. This is going to be part 2 of my Resetting College Football series. So this is going to be the year 2008. We started in 2003. The national champions were 2003. It was Clemson. Then 04, it was Ohio State. 05, Stanford. 06, Penn State. 07, Wisconsin. We are going to be in 2008 right now. So basically what I do for these guys is I make real life recruits. I put them into the recruiting class, and then we follow along with their careers, see where they sign, and we just basically track the players' progress and the team's progress throughout the years. We're going to be doing this all the way until the end of the 2023 season. So it's going to be 21 seasons in total. This is obviously College Football 25, but the game, they changed some things from NCAA 14. There is no create a prospect. So I had to do kind of a workaround that we'll get into in a second. That is the big one, but we'll kind of get into the workaround. But the graphics are obviously updated. There's new things that are really cool, like the transfer portal, the college football playoff we will be tracking. So all of that is really sweet. Now, before we get into this year's recruiting class, we're going to go look at some of the rosters and the top players in the season right now. So we'll look at the top players first. So nationally, top QBs, this is the list. Now, this is year number 6 of the sim. So most of these guys are going to be not real players. They're going to be auto gens, except for our real life guys. For example, we have Brady Quinn. Now, Brady Quinn signed with the Texas Longhorns. So he is going to be the starter for Texas this year. He's going to be in his junior season. Dennis Dixon, he's going to be in his junior season as well, is going to be the starter this year in Washington. So they're the 2 best real life quarterbacks. The rest are going to be auto gens up there. If we keep going down, we got Chris Leak. I actually called him Leak. It's Leak. He's at Arkansas. Now, when we go in, I create these prospects. I actually can't change how they look though. So some of them, like I can't actually alter their appearance, but I'll show you guys what I can alter for the prospects. So I can change their name. We can even just, we're in here. We'll go to Chris Leak. I like to put the apostrophe beside their name because then it's really easy when I'm going down the list to see who our real life guys are. You can change their handness. I can change how tall they are so we can update them to be their real life size, and then we can update their gear. So I try to make them look similar to how they looked in real life. So Chris Leak is at Arkansas. Another thing that's new in this college football game, as opposed to NCAA 14, there is abilities now as well. So, and there's development. So right now, Dennis Dixon has star development. So that means he's got good potential. He's going to advance really well throughout his career. We can see his different ratings here: throw power, elusiveness. Where's his speed? His speed's an 82, good acceleration. Then they do also have abilities. So he's got road dog, fan favorite, headstrong, mobile, deadeye, pull down, off platform, sleight of hand, and extender. So I don't actually put those abilities on these guys. It basically how that prospect ends up is what the abilities he gets. So it is kind of cool because it is a little bit more random. Some guys who are big time prospects, like someone that we're going to look at right here, if we look at QBs like Matt Leinart, he's in his senior season. He only went up to an 85. He never really became a starter. He does have impact potential and some good abilities, but he's a big time recruit who never really turned out. So this is going to be a lot more random. Some guys turn out. We have Jamarcus Russell at Ohio State. He's an 85 overall. Mitchell, he's a junior. I think he might be their starter this year, or he's the backup. But yeah, some guys turn out, some guys don't, like Matt Leinart. There was another one. He must have left early. Vince Young was at Texas. He never really turned out. Going to running backs, we got Adrian Peterson. He's only a sophomore. He's up to a 92 overall. Once again, I can't change their appearance, but elite development. He's got physicals. Those are all his abilities. Those are his mentals. So Adrian Peterson, one of the best backs in the country already. I've definitely noticed going through the sims that they don't run the ball a ton. A lot of these teams want to pass the ball. So last year he had 813 yards, but it was still one of the best in the country because, yeah, usually there's only like 3 or 4 guys that get 1,000 yards. Keep going down. We have Reggie Bush. He's in his senior season. He's going to be playing at Texas. So he's with Brady Quinn at Texas. Those, I think, are the top 2 created running backs, real life backs right now. Then we have a lot of auto gens for a while, but we do have some young guys coming up. We'll go look at some of the teams in a minute here. If we go to receivers, the second best receiver in the country is Santonio Holmes. So Holmes played for Pittsburgh Steelers in real life. He's playing at Miami right now. He's a 91 overall. We also have Ted Ginn Jr. He's only a redshirt sophomore and he's a 92 overall. He had an incredible freshman year. He just looks like an absolute freak. Elite development. And if we look at his stats, he had 1,100 yards and 21 touchdowns for Michigan as a redshirt freshman. Crazy year. We got Robert Meacham at TCU. We got Larry Fitzgerald as a senior playing at Ohio State. Brandon Marshall as a senior playing at Wisconsin. That is kind of the top receivers. I think we only really... There's definitely one. Fred Davis, he's one of the best tight ends in the country. He actually was at Cincinnati and then transferred to Notre Dame. So he's at Notre Dame right now. One of the best young tight ends in the country. We'll kind of skip over O-line. We do have created guys in it, obviously, but it's not the most interesting. Well, obviously, when guys are getting recruited, though, we're going to track the O-lineman for sure. Robert Ayers, only a sophomore, up to a 91. Was he always at Florida State? I thought he was at Michigan. He might have transferred, honestly. There are going to be... Derek Harvey. So Derek Harvey, only a junior, or is a junior, 89 overall. Lawrence Jackson, a junior at Notre Dame. So yeah, some good DNs. I have noticed too, guys do not get to quite as high overalls. We got Haloti Ngata at A&M. Like if guys get to a 92, 93, that is very, very good. Whereas in like NCAA 14, their guys got to 99 so easily, which I kind of like that when guys get really, really good, it's actually super special. Here we got Ray Maluga. Now, this looks nothing like Ray Maluga. Once again, I can't alter their appearance, but he's only a sophomore and he's up to a 93 overall, 89 overall, 93 with his coach boost. So this guy looks like he's going to be an absolute beast at Nebraska. An 89 or 93 as a sophomore is insane. We got Lawrence Timmons, a junior, 91. We got James Laurinaitis as a redshirt freshman at Oregon. He is a 91 overall. So we have some sick inside linebackers. Ernie Sims at Georgia. Right outsides, we got Ahmad Brooks at Georgia. So Georgia has a pair of just nasty linebackers right now. We got Keith Rivers, only a sophomore at Florida. Looks like a really good player. Corners, I don't know if we have a great group of corners right now, kind of young guys. Same at safety. Do we have a really good safety right now? We got Malcolm Jenkins, redshirt freshman at Michigan, 86 overall. He's got a star development trait as well, so he's going to develop really well at Michigan. Spurred Ohio State, where he went in real life for Michigan. We got LaRon Landry, a senior at Auburn, one of the best strong safeties. But like even to look at strong safeties, he's an 86 and he's tied for the third best strong safety in the country. Okay, so that's kind of where we're sitting with the top players. Now I want to just look at some of the top teams. Actually, you know what? We'll do teams in a minute. We're going to go look at our prospects now. Then we'll look at some of the teams after we look at the top 25. So now that you've kind of seen where we're at with players in the country, who some of the best real life players are, I'll show you kind of how we get to this spot. So basically, because I was not able to actually create prospects, what I basically had to do is I had to go find the prospect in the recruiting class that matched up the best with the current prospect I am talking about. So basically, I make a list of 23, 24 recruits, and in NCAA 14, I would just make that prospect. Now I basically go in and I look at all the best quarterbacks and I basically look at who kind of fits the archetype the best. So right now, this is a really good quarterback class in this 2007 class. For example, this player here,
Sledge, I went through before the video started and I looked, okay, this guy matches up with Russell Wilson. He's a field general. He's too tall. He's 6'4", but after they get recruited, I can drop him down to 5'11". I try to match up their nationality. So obviously Russell Wilson's black. I'm going to make him a black guy. He's a 5-star recruit. And obviously Russell Wilson wasn't a 5-star recruit, but we want, these guys to represent really good players and really good prospects. So I look at kind of type of player, 5-star, 4-star recruits, archetype, and then kind of the area of the country. I try to match up states where I can. Right here, Russell Wilson is from Virginia. Sledge is from Georgia, so it's not a perfect fit, but I do think it's pretty close. And then you'll see the top schools on the bottom right, who he's kind of looking like he's going to go to. For each of my recruits from now on, we kind of gave you a little breakdown of Russell Wilson there, but now you're just going to see this graphic that I make pop up showing the recruit I am talking about. But that is kind of my process on how I get to these players. So right now, from now on, this player is Russell Wilson. Once again, I can adjust these guys' height and weight. So that, just kind of ignore that. But the field general, he's a 5-star recruit, similar area of the country relatively, and he's looking at Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Tennessee, and he's actually the number 2 overall player in the whole country. Then the next recruit we are looking at is going to be Cam Newton. Now, Cam is a 5-star. He's from Georgia, just like this recruit in real life. He's the scrambler archetype. He's 6'3", but we'll up him to like 6'5", 6'6". He's a 5-star, 19th player in the whole country. He's looking at Auburn, which is his real life school, then Florida State, Georgia, Tennessee, and Clemson. Then we have another really solid quarterback, and that is going to be Tyrod Taylor. Now, Tyrod played at Virginia Tech. This guy's a little taller, but he's going to be a 5-star improviser, 31st player in the country. So we have a really good group of QBs here. He's looking at Georgia, Clemson, Auburn, Ohio State, and Bama. And then our last quarterback is going to be Kellen Moore. Now, Kellen Moore is from the state of Washington, but he actually played at Boise State. This guy's a field general archetype 5-star, and it looks like he actually wants to play in the South. So he's looking at Georgia, possibly Ohio State, Clemson, Tennessee, Bama. So those are our 4 quarterbacks in the class. Then we actually have no running backs in the class. So there's only one 5-star back anyway, but all going to be auto gens for the rest of the guys. Then we move on to wide receivers, and we got 2, and they're both pretty freaking good. So the first one, number 1 receiver in the whole class, he's the 6th player nationally in the country, is going to be Dez Bryant. Now, he played at Oklahoma State, but he is from the state of Texas is where he's from. He's going to be a route runner archetype. He was a bit more of a physical receiver, but it's going to work, and we will up his size a little bit once he signs. But he's looking at Texas Tech, A&M, Baylor, Texas, and TCU. So it looks like he's going to stay in the state of Texas. Next up, we have Golden Tate. Now, Golden played at Notre Dame. He's from Tennessee. He's 5-star, 26th player in the country, and he's looking at Clemson, Florida State, Auburn, Georgia, and Tennessee. So kind of the bigger schools for Golden as well. Then getting into our tight ends, and we have 2 really good ones. The first one is going to be Aaron Hernandez. Now, Hernandez, obviously, he had some personal stuff, but really good player in real life. He's going to be a 4-star player, 39th in the whole class. In real life, Hernandez was from Connecticut, but he played at Florida. Right now, he's going to be a possession archetype receiving tight end. He's looking at Clemson, Georgia, UNC, North Carolina State, and Duke. So kind of in the Carolinas area, plus throw in Georgia. And then the other one is going to be Rob Gronkowski. Now, Gronk is from New York, but he played at Arizona, so totally went way away from where he's actually from. But he's going to be a 4-star vertical threat tight end. He's looking at Duke, UNC, North Carolina State, Virginia Tech are his top schools. Moving on to offensive tackle, we only have 1. It is going to be Brian Bulaga. Now, Bulaga played at Iowa. He's from the state of Illinois. He's going to be a power offensive tackle, 4-star recruit. He's looking at Ohio State, Rutgers, Penn State, Michigan, and Notre Dame as his top schools. Then we have a guard and 2 centers. So for our guard, we have Mike Pouncey. So this is one of the Pouncey twins. He's from the state of Florida. He played at Florida in real life. Agile archetype, going to be a 4-star recruit. He's looking at Bama, Clemson, Florida State, Georgia, and UCF. Then getting into our centers, we have Marquise Pouncey. who is going to be a 5-star recruit. He's actually the 11th player in the country, so they like him a little bit more than his brother. And he's looking at LSU, Stanford, Ole Miss, A&M, and TCU. And then our other center is going to be Steven Wisniewski. He played at Penn State. He's from Pennsylvania, but it looks like he's going to stay more in the South. He's a 4-star recruit, agile archetype. He's looking at Texas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, TCU, LSU. Then we move on to defense. We got 4 nice defensive ends in this class. The first one is going to be Everson Griffin. Now, Griffin is from Arizona, but he played at USC, was really good there, played with the Vikings in the NFL. He's going to be a power rusher archetype, 5-star recruit, 14th player in the country. He's looking at Utah, BYU, Oregon, USC, Stanford is his top schools. Then we have Cam Hayward. Now, Cam Hayward is from Georgia, but he actually played at Ohio State. Power rusher archetype, big body, can play kind of inside and outside, really good NFL career. He is a 5-star recruit looking at Wisconsin, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Michigan, and Purdue. So wants to kind of stay in the Northeast more. He did play, or Midwest more, did play at Ohio State in real life. Then we have Justin Houston. Now, Houston is more of a speed rusher, outside linebacker, D-end hybrid from the state of Georgia, played at Georgia in real life. He's number 1 schools, Georgia, Florida State, Alabama, Stanford, Clemson. And then our last D-end is going to be Carlos Dunlap. Now, he's from South Carolina, but played at Florida. He's going to be a power rusher archetype. He's actually a little bigger, so we're going to up him to like 6'5", 6'6". He's a 4-star recruit, 34th in the country. He's looking at Clemson, Bama, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU. Moving into D-tackle, and we got 2. The first one is actually going to be JJ Watt. I actually had to move him inside to D-tackle. This player just kind of fit his archetype better. He's going to be a speed rusher D-tackle. He's only 6'1". We'll up him to like 6'4", but he's going to be kind of an inside-outside player, 5-star recruit, 18th in the country. He went to Wisconsin in real life. His first school is Wisconsin, then Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Kentucky. And then the other one is going to be Marvin Austin. This guy was a massive recruit coming out, one of the top players in the country, went to North Carolina in real life. Here, he's like an inside pass rusher type. Here, he's looking at A&M, TCU, Ohio State, LSU, Stanford. Moving on to outside linebackers. This class is sick, guys. This is one of the best classes. We have, actually, I think I have to play, I think this guy's going to actually be a D-end in this sim. Yes. So it is going to be a Von Miller. Now, he's a speed rusher archetype, 6'2", 250. Basically what Von Miller is. Von is from Texas, played at A&M. This guy's top schools are Baylor, A&M, TCU, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma State. He's a 5-star, 24th player in the country. Okay, then we have no outsides or middle linebackers in this class. We have 1 corner. He is going to be the number 1 player, number 1 corner in the whole class. It is going to be Joe Hayden. Now, Hayden's from Maryland, but he actually played at Florida in real life. But here it looks like he's going to stay more up in the Northeast. He's looking at Rutgers, UConn, Virginia, NC State, and he is the number 1 overall prospect, 5-star recruit, Joe Hayden. That is where he's leaning. Okay, then we have safeties. So here we have Eric Berry, one of the best college players of all time at Tennessee. He was an absolute freak show. He's going to be a 5-star recruit, zone archetype. He's looking at LSU, Bama, Georgia, TCU, Florida State. Obviously played at Tennessee in real life, though. Then we have 2 strong safeties. I actually had to move Earl Thomas to strong safety just because this guy kind of fit his archetype better as far as being a 4-star. This guy's from Texas, just like Earl. Earl played at for the Texas Longhorns, part of the LOB Seahawks. 4-star, he's looking at A&M, Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, and Ohio State. Then our last player in this class is going to be back at free safety, and it's going to be Harrison Smith. Smith played at Notre Dame. He's from Tennessee. He's going to be a 4-star recruit, 78th in the country. He's looking at Bama, Penn State, Ohio State, Maryland, Clemson. So those are recruits. We basically look at the recruits 3 times each year. So at the start of the year, when I kind of show you who the guys are, then we'll look at the mid-season point, and by then, usually about half of them will sign, and then we'll look at the National Signing Day. Okay, so now we're going to advance to the first week. We're going to get into the season. Then we're going to look at the polls. We'll look at the Heisman watch. We'll look at the preseason All-Americans, if there's any. Okay, so we're in week 1 now. We're going to look at the top 25 here, Heisman watch, and then we'll look at the teams as well. So Wisconsin is coming in as the number 1 team in the country. They're an 88 overall. We got USC at number 2 with an 89 overall, A&M 88, Stanford 85. Look at Bama, a 95 overall. So they look stacked. Penn State looks good. Ohio State 92 overall, Georgia 91. Florida State 88, that's a good squad. 90 for Oregon. That is kind of that is what their preseason top 25 is looking like. Now we'll look at the Heisman, but the Heisman's been really weird in the sim. Basically, receivers are winning it all the time, and not even after having crazy stats. It's been kind of annoying. So I haven't really been paying super close to the attention to the Heisman because it's just been kind of weird. Now that we've looked at the top 25, we'll look at just some of the best rosters. We already looked at the players, but keep in mind too, guys, as we sim through the year, once we get to the conference championship and the college football playoff, we'll also be hopping in and watching games live. I just super sim them, and then we'll watch plays just from the bird's eye view, kind of the TV copy. And I don't actually play, but we'll watch games and see these guys on the field. So looking at Bama, they're the number one overall team in the country overall wise, not like preseason ratings or anything. They really haven't been getting our real life recruits, but they do just have a really good team. Last year, they did get Geno Atkins at D tackle and Brandon Spikes at middle linebacker, two really good freshmen, but they're really the only two real life guys on the team. Keep going down. Clemson had a good start to the sim, kind of fallen off a little bit, but they do have some of our recruits for sure. They have Ndamukong Suh, who's coming in as a sophomore, 83 overall D tackle. And they have Glenn Dorsey, another sophomore D tackle. So two top 5 picks at D tackle. Florida State, really good team right now. They have really good O-linemen, safety. They got Robert Ayers, one of the best defensive players in the country, only a soft. Georgia, they have a ton of our guys. They got Ahmad Brooks, one of the best linebackers in the country. Ernie Sims, another great linebacker. Keep going down. Miami, they got Santonio Holmes, best player on the team. Does he have a good QB? 87 QB. So could see Santonio Holmes putting up some big numbers. Michigan, they got Ted Ginn Jr., absolute freak, only a sophomore. Derek Harvey, their QB is going to be a 87 senior. They have a couple of good seniors and a decent freshman, but hopefully this guy just throws the ball to Ted Ginn Jr. Throw it up to Ted. Notre Dame has a few of our guys. They got Lawrence Jackson, Fred Davis at tight end. Does Fred have a QB throwing him the ball? 88 senior quarterback. So yeah, not a bad QB at all. Ohio State, one of the best teams in the country. I think they're a 91 overall. They got a senior quarterback with a senior receiver in Norden and Larry Fitzgerald. So two kind of superstars on offense, plus a 93 running back. So they kind of have a three-headed monster on offense that could be nasty. They got some really good corners. They got Sean Merriman, who I actually think he started at Notre Dame and transferred over here. They got Jamarcus Russell, but Jamarcus isn't starting this year, but next year, hopefully once Norton's gone, Jamarcus will take over. I think that's going to be most of their real life guys. They might have one more snuck some. Oh yeah, there's Brandon Graham. So true freshman Brandon Graham as well. Oklahoma, they've got some really good freshmen coming in here. They have DeMarco Murray, 81 overall, true freshman, star development trait. He went to Oklahoma in real life. So, and I think they got a wide receiver as well. Yeah, they got Michael Crabtree, but this is where I was saying guys can turn out to be busts. So Crabtree was a 5-star recruit. He's got normal development and he's only a 69 overall. So it's going to be a little bit more random, which I kind of like for this sim. Just because somebody has a big name and they are a good overall star recruit doesn't mean they're going to turn out to be a great player. It looks like Crabtree's going to be a bust, but that's just kind of how it goes. Moving to Oregon, they got James Laurinaitis, one of the best players in the country, as a redshirt freshman. Should be just a freak show. They got Calais Campbell, only a sophomore at D end, looking really good. Those are kind of their big ones. They got Walter Thurman, sophomore corner, decent quarterback, freshman, going to start for them. Penn State, some good players. I think they got mostly autogens. Oh, they got Percy Harvin. Yeah. So one of the number one recruits in the country, Percy Harvin, goes there. He's going to be a true freshman, star development trait. Looks like he could be really, really good. Is he going to play this year though? No, he's fifth on the depth chart. Two of the guys are seniors though. So by next year, he should be up there. He's got 97 speed, 95 excel, 95 agility. So should just be an absolute freak show once he starts getting on the field. We go to Texas. They got Reggie Bush. They got they do have Vince Young. So Vince Young, another guy who he looked like he was one of the number one recruits in the country. He had elite development trait. He just never really saw the field. Now he's going to be a senior and never start for them. It looks like Brady beat him out and is just the better player at this point. We got Reggie Bush, 91 overall. I think they have some more players as well, but those are kind of the big superstar types. Few more here. USC, they have Matt Leinart, who's never really played for them, and I don't think he's going to play this year. They have Deshaun Jackson coming in, redshirt freshman, so hopefully be able to kind of do some work this year. He's got 98 speed, so a ton of burners on him. That is kind of it for them. Is Leinart even going to start? Yeah, Leinart's not even starting this year, so Leinart never going to start, and Vince Young never ended up starting. A lot of talking here, kind of was just setting up the whole video. Now we are going to sim to the mid-season point, and then we will look at recruiting, and we'll look at the top 25, see how everyone's doing. Then once we get to the end of the year in the college football playoff, and if there's any good conference championship games, we will start hopping into games as well. I'll probably not watch quite as many this first season just because I have to set up the whole video. I've been talking a lot at the start, so I want to kind of get going on this season because I have to set everything up, as we hop into it. Alrighty, so we are in week 9 now, so simmed quite a bit ahead. We are going to look at the recruiting again, so now we'll see where a lot of these guys are going to be signed by now, and we'll kind of see where they all end up. Okay, so getting into QBs, and first up we have Russell Wilson. So Russell Wilson ends up at Notre Dame. They beat out Ohio State and Georgia. So Notre Dame gets an absolute superstar recruit. Moving on to Kellen Moore. He is not signed with anyone yet. He's leaning Ohio State, also looking at Notre Dame and Georgia. On to Cam Newton, and he has signed on the dotted line. He is going to end up 5-star recruit playing for Florida State. So they beat out Tennessee and Georgia for the absolute freak show named Cam Newton. Then the last one is going to be Tyrod Taylor, and he ends up at Ohio State. I actually like that fit. They're going to have Jamarcus Russell next year and then a big hole at quarterback. So Ohio State beats out Georgia and Notre Dame for the 5-star Tyrod Taylor. Moving on to wide receivers, and the number 1 receiver in the class, he ends up at LSU. Oh, no, sorry, I misread that. TCU, not LSU. So TCU was actually in the national championship last year and lost to Wisconsin. So they're a really good program right now. They get the number 1 receiver. They just beat out Oklahoma. Then the other receiver in this class, the real one, is going to be Golden Tate. He is still up for grabs. He's looking at Clemson, Auburn, and West Virginia right now. Okay, for our 2 tight ends, first up, we have Rob Gronkowski. He is still up for grabs, and it looks like he's going to end up at Duke. It's either Duke or North Carolina State. He's not really getting heavily recruited right now. That is going to be a problem. You should be going after Gronk. Then the other tight end is Aaron Hernandez. He is looking at Clemson, Georgia, Duke, North Carolina, and North Carolina State. All the Carolina schools basically all in the running, plus Georgia as well. Moving on to Brian Bulaga, he is locked in at Penn State. So Penn State beats out Ohio State to lock down a really good offensive tackle. For Mike Pouncey, he ends up at Florida State. So that's funny. He's going to be blocking for Cam Newton, who also went to Florida. They're going to now both be at Florida State, and then obviously Cam left to go to Auburn. But they end up there together. We'll see where his brother Marquise ends up, and he's leaning LSU, Ole Miss. Those are his top 2 schools. Then for Wisniewski, he's looking Texas, Texas A&M, Oklahoma, LSU, TCU. Moving on to defensive end, we have 5 here, really good players. The first one is going to be Everson Griffin, and he's going to end up at Oregon. Oregon's been doing really good with defensive players, getting him in the door. They beat out USC and Utah. Then Von Miller is going to end up at LSU. LSU has been getting some studs in this class. They get Von Miller, beats out TCU and Baylor. That's a huge pickup. Then we got Carlos Dunlap. He is going to end up at the University of Kentucky. That is a huge pickup for them. He picks them over Tennessee. We also have Cam Hayward. Now, Hayward picks Wisconsin over his real life alma mater, Ohio State. So big time 5-star going there. And then the last one is going to be Justin Houston, who stays at his home state of Georgia, his real life school, and he is going to go there. Okay, moving on to D tackles, and our number 1 D tackle is going to end up at Kentucky. So JJ Watt is going to end up at Kentucky, and I think they got Carlos Dunlap as well. One of the other DNs ended up there. So they got 2 5-star studs on their D line, and then the other one is going to be Marvin Austin, and he's going to end up at Ohio State. So Ohio State gets a big interior pass rusher. And all of these, I believe, are soft commitments. Like, I think these guys can also change a little bit too. Most of the time they don't, but I have noticed guys change. So once we look at National Signing Day, we might see one or two of these guys flip-flop as well. Then we have Joe Hayden. So he's the #1 overall recruit in the whole country, and he is going to end up at Syracuse. So Syracuse gets a crazy cornerback. Safeties, we have Eric Berry, 5-star, 17th player in the country, ends up at Georgia. Great pickup for them. Penn State is going to get Harrison Smith. So really nice pickup. Harrison Smith going to play at Penn State. Then lastly, we have Earl Thomas, and he's going to end up at Alabama. So Bama is going to get Earl. Huge pickup for them. There we go. 4-star going to end up there. So once again, those are soft commitments. I think some of those guys can flip-flop, but we'll see. Okay, now we're going to get into the top 25. So right now, Stanford, #1 team in the country, 8-0. Texas Tech, 7-0. Maryland. Then we got Oregon, Clemson, Georgia, USC, Wisconsin, Vautech, TCU, NC State, Arizona. Then on the outside of the playoff looking in, we got Alabama with 3 losses as a 95 overall. Cincinnati, 6-1, 5-2, A&M. Ohio State, 3 losses. Notre Dame, 3 losses. Oklahoma, 3 losses. So some of the most talented teams in the country definitely losing some games. Heisman watch, gonna be weird. Yeah, all receivers. And like, this is this Steven Sexton guy, but they have Santonio Holmes, who's debatably the best player in the country, and he's not there. This Pat Word is the only QB on the list. The rest is literally wide receivers. They really got to tweak that for the Heisman watch for sure, in my opinion. Hopefully there's a patch that just, a dynasty patch that just kind of alters that a little bit. Okay, we'll look at some team stats here, and then we'll look at all the player stats and stuff at the end of the year as well. So #1 offense in the country right now is going to be Clemson, then Stanford. Wow. Miami, BC, Vautech, NC State for ranked teams. Oh shit, this is ACC. Okay, never mind. Sorry. Okay, so this is the whole country. So Clemson, Bama, Memphis, but Stanford's still up there. Arkansas, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Texas Tech, Oregon, Maryland, A&M, USC's on there. Then we'll look at defense. Wyoming, but Texas Tech, wow, they have a great offense, great defense. They're playing in the Big 12. It's not the hardest conference, but yeah, that is where we're sitting. Georgia, 134 a game or overall. Now we're going to sim to conference championship weekend. If there's a really good conference championship game, we'll hop in, we'll watch some of it live. If not, we'll just wait till the playoff. Okay, so we are in conference championship weekend. Let's see if we have any good matchups that are really worth watching. Arizona, Cincinnati, Kentucky, Georgia, Oregon, Maryland. Maryland is #2 in the country, but they don't really have anybody on their team that we would know. I think we'll keep going. We'll sim to the college football playoff. Okay, so here's who won the Heisman. Of course, it's a wide receiver. It's always wide receivers. Really weird. Like I said, I hope they patch that. Okay. So we are in the college football playoff now. We will look at the bracket. So our buys are going to be Oregon, Arizona, Georgia, Virginia Tech. Then we got Wisconsin, Kentucky, Maryland, Appalachian State, Bama, Clemson, Ohio State, Penn State. Okay, we're going to advance through this week. So let's see this next round. We got Oregon, Wisconsin. That's actually a really good game. Arizona, Maryland, Clemson, Georgia, Virginia Tech, Penn State. Good games, but I'm going to advance 1 week, and then we'll watch a game the next week, and we'll watch the final. Okay, so where are we at? Bracket. Oregon advances over Wisconsin. They're going to play Arizona. So they got the 13th team in the country who does beat Maryland. So it's going to be Georgia, Penn State. This is a big game. Good players, 90 versus 87. Okay, here we go. Penn State, Georgia. Is this the Rose Bowl too? Yeah. Welcome to the Rose Bowl. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to go through this game a little bit quicker. Get to the second quarter, though. We'll see how it's looking. So going through the first quarter, zeros, just defensive battle. Okay. Well, maybe we'll watch some of this. So 3rd and 10 here for Penn State. We'll see what they can do on 3rd down. Penn State, 3rd down. Shotgun look. I like this uniform matchup. Drops back. Slides right over the middle. Great hit, but he holds on, but it's going to be 4th down. Okay, a lot happening there. Great hit, good throw, but it's actually going to be 4th down. Penn State is going to have to punt that football. Georgia 1st down, -3. Holy crap, they lost a bunch of yards on that, but then it was a 30-yard punt. So Penn State ball, third and 4, fourth and 1. They're going to punt. Second and 7, Georgia. Oh, no, this is, third and 6. Let's check it out. So this is going to be Penn State, third and 6 here. They're going to go under center this time. Still 0-0. Defensive matchup. State drops back. Little pop pass. Another great hit, but he holds on. Wow. Great catch in traffic. Somehow holds on to that football. Great job. Okay, first and 10. There's a 24-yard rush. First and goal to the 1. So back-to-back huge plays for Penn State, and they're trying to break this 0-0 tie by punching this football in. Shotgun split back look here for Penn State. Guessing this is going to be a handoff here. Motion a guy across the formation. Going to just little pop pass to the sideline. Ooh, misses the back corner throw. Okay, second and goal from the 1. They're going heavy goal line look here. Georgia's got a lot of beef up front. They're going to run toss. Oh, blows it up. Wow, great job by the Georgia defense. Spills them out, blows up the edge, and now it is going to be third and goal from the 4. You got to think this is going to be a pass for Penn State. Georgia 4 down there. Penn State drops back. Got time. He's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to go in. Touchdown, Penn State. Great job by the QB to keep that football. They needed that. They had first and goal from the 1. It looked like they might not get points, but Penn State punches it. 7 points, Penn State. Okay, touchback. Here we go. Georgia, third and 3, first and 10, second and 8, third and 8. Okay, we'll watch this play for Georgia. Georgia's offense has just been not great so far. Let's see what they can do here. So this is going to be their not Pat White. This is going to be Kamara in at quarterback. Going to drop back. Going deep down the field. He hits a man in stride. Huge gain. Wow. Huge pickup. We picked the right play to watch Georgia. Huge shot right down the field. The dog is excited. I like that throw from Kamara. Steps in there, laser beam, whole shot up over the corner. Hits his man in stride. Great throw. We're going to just watch this next play again here. Here's Georgia. Got more of an under center, double or 2x2 look here. Gonna hand this ball off right downhill. Picks up a bit. Second and 7. Okay, we're gonna jump ahead here. Third and 4. First and goal from the 1, and they're able to punch it in and tie it. Okay, so we are gonna sim to the end of the quarter here. 14-7 Penn State, 21-7. So they just scored 2 late touchdowns. Okay, we're gonna sim to the fourth quarter, and then we'll watch some of the fourth quarter if it's close. 21-14. 21-17, so we got a game. Third and 12 here for Georgia, I believe. Yep, Georgia. Oh, no. Yeah, Georgia football on their own 30. Drops back. Kamara brought a bit of a blitz. He's going to try to pull it, and that's a sack for Penn State. He tries to get out of the pocket. He is going down. Huge sack. Penn State holding on to a 4-point lead here. They're going to be their ball. First and 10. Third and 8. They have to punt. Georgia ball. Second and 4, third and 6. They're going to have to punt. Second and 8, third and 5, fourth and 3. They're going to have to punt. Second and 6, third and 3, fourth and 1. They're going to have to punt. So they're just trading punts. Second and 13, third and 11, fourth and 10. They have to punt. Second and 3, third and 3. Okay. I'm guessing they're going to convert this. Let's watch this. 3:53 left, still a 4-point game. Just been trading punts back and forth. But here's Georgia at the boat. You probably even go for it on fourth down here, I bet. If it's like 4th and 1, they're going to run stretch here. That's going to be 4th and 1. Great job by Penn State. You got to go for this. Yep, they're gonna. I don't think you can punt that ball. Here it is. Play of the day for the Dogs. Bunch to the top. Let's see what they got. Gonna hand this off right ahead, wide open. Easy pickup there. Penn State just kind of gave him that inside carry. Not what you want to do on 4th and 1, but it is what it is. Interception. Next play, Penn State interception. Their ball, 1st and 10, 2nd and 7. They got it on 3rd and 5. Okay, wow. 3rd and 5. Penn State can put it away here with a couple of first downs. Georgia does have all 3 timeouts. They need to pick it up right here if you're Penn State. Down. Panned it off. Oh, he's got it. Pushes forward. Big carry by State. They pick it up. Trying to book their ticket to the national championship. Up 4, 2:24 left. 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 9. Georgia has 1 timeout still. 3rd and 9. They're going super spread empty look. They're out of field goal range, need to convert. They're going to run QB draw. He's going to be short. And I think they'll punt it. They got to punt it, right? There's no way you can go for that. So 4th and 3, they do punt. Georgia, 19-yard reception to start off the drive. 2-yard rush. Holy crap. 27-yard reception. Loss of 4. Gain of 16. First and goal from the 4. Oh my gosh. I was literally going to start watching the next play and they hit that huge gain. We are going to watch from right here. Oh my God. They have 7 seconds. They have no timeouts. This is the last play. Last play of the day to go to the national championship right here. Kamara, end zone touchdown. Oh my gosh. The last play. Walk-off winner. Georgia beats Penn State. That is a heartbreaker for the Nittany Lions. Oh my goodness. The Dogs. I didn't realize the clock would be running there. That was the last play of the day. Snapped it with like 3 seconds left. Hits them on the slant. Georgia going to the national championship. They win the Rose Bowl. What a crushing defeat for Penn State. They're not even going to kick the extra point. They don't need it. Kamara, what a drive. That is why Pat White is on the bench, because that kid's a killer. Wow. Georgia going to the Natty. I'm hoping they play Oregon. That will be a crazy game. 2 of the best teams in the country. They did not throw the ball. Penn State could not get the ball moving through the air. They ran the ball okay. They do have a young Ray Rice as a freshman on their team. What a finish. Holy Georgia. That was a sick game. So the Dogs get it done. I'm really hoping they play Oregon over Arizona. Gonna be a much better game. Oregon's really good, so let's sim ahead. Come on, give me Oregon. Give me Oregon. Let's get into it. 14-1 Oregon, so they have just been the best team in the country. But they got to beat the Dogs, which is going to be no easy task. Okay, here we go. Georgia and Oregon. Let's get it. Okay, we are going to sim through the first quarter once again. 0-0, 7-0 Dogs. 7-7, Oregon ties it up. 3rd and 3, 4th and 1. Maybe a punt. 2nd and 7, Oregon. 3rd and 5. We'll watch this. So let's see what Oregon's got. Here are the Ducks going real electric with their green and yellow versus the classic Dogs look. Little hitch underneath. Nice throw. Oregon picks it up. They keep it going. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 11. They're going to have to punt. 4th and 18. Georgia, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4. 4th and 3. They punt. 2nd and 9. 1st and 10. 2nd and 13. 3rd and 15. They punt. 1st and 10. 2nd and 8. 1st and 10. 2nd and 5. 3rd and inches. Okay, let's go. 3rd and inches. Georgia at the 21-yard line. Definitely need to convert this. Kamara back there at quarterback. Oh, timeout. Oh, 2-minute warning. Get right back to it. Here we go. Kamara. Let's see. Drops back. They're going to pass. He got his running back. You know he's going to end zone. Boom. Back corner. Great throw. 4th and inches. Or 3rd and inches. I thought he was just going to check it down to his running back. Instead, he airmails it. Back of the end zone. Great throw. Kamara. Touchdown. Dogs. Wow. Great job. They look like they might have a 7-point lead, but we'll see if Oregon can get something going before the half here. 2nd and 9, 1st and 10. Couple of big pass plays. There's a 17-yard gain, 4-yard gain. 1st and goal down to the 7. So huge pickup there for Oregon. Looks like they're going to... Oh, I meant to watch that play. Shit. 7-yard touchdown. I was trying to watch that play. So Oregon ties it at 14. 2nd and 8. That's going to be halftime. So we got ourselves a game here. We are going to go to the 4th quarter, 21-14, Oregon, 28-14. Okay, so they take a bit of a stranglehold here. 28-14, 4th and 10. It is going to be Oregon football, I believe, -2. That was a safety. Oh, yeah, this one's over. Georgia. Here's a 3rd and 12. They convert on 3rd and 12, 26-yard reception. We'll watch this 3rd and long just to see Oregon. Wow. So unless Georgia comes up with some huge plays in the final 7:43, Oregon is going to be national champs. Huge blitz right in there. Wow. Ernie Sims, one of the best linebackers in the country, comes through on a crazy blitz. Georgia, it is go time. You need something on offense right here, right now. 2nd and 8, 3rd and 5, 4th and 5. They go for it. They pick it up. It was a penalty, defensive penalty, 3rd and 7. We'll watch this. Georgia, you're down 16, so technically it is a 2-possession game. 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions. Kamara, shotgun. 3rd and 7. This is probably 4-down territory unless he gets sacked. He's going to tuck it and run. He's got lots of room. Green grass slides. Great job by Kamara. Okay, jump to next play. 1st and 10, 11-yard reception. 1st and goal from the 8. 2nd goal from the 6. 3rd and goal from the 6. We'll watch here. 3rd and goal from the 6. They need something. They need 2 big touchdowns here. Going to motion their running back out. Kamara, end zone. That could be picked. This is definitely 4-down territory, so we're just going to watch this play. 4th and goal from the 6. This is the game. Do or die. Georgia Bulldogs national championship on the line. End zone, knockdown. Oregon, put it in the sheath. That is going to do it. We're just going to go to the end of the game unless something wild. Oh, I didn't even mean to watch this play. We're going to sim to the end of the game unless something wild happens here in the last 4 minutes. Hand it off. Nice little gain there for the Ducks. Go to the end. Yeah, 22-8. Oh, wow, they were only down 8, but so they did score a late touchdown, but that is it. Oregon Ducks win the national championship. This is the 2008 national champs, Oregon Ducks. Beat the Dogs, who got there on kind of a miracle play in that semifinal game, but not enough in this one. Irving, their quarterback, this guy's a true freshman. Only 3 incompletions, had 3 touchdowns. Looks like he's going to be a killer. Some nice receiving numbers. Georgia's offense, Kamara was good-ish, but yeah, just not explosive enough. And Oregon caps off with, I think they're 15-1 this year. Crazy record. They get it done. Okay, so the Ducks win. We're going to get into the offseason right away here. We're just going to kind of look at the year-end wrap-up stuff here. So we'll look just at some All-Americans. So Chris Leak, first-team All-American quarterback at Arkansas. Kind of it for real-life guys. Second team, not a lot for real-life guys as well. Freshman, James Laurinaitis at Oregon, Malcolm Jenkins at Michigan, both get All-Americans. We'll look at some team stats, make sure I'm not on the ACC. I do that a lot by accident. So most points per game, Bama, Clemson, Miami. Oregon was 5th, win the national championship. Defensively, Wyoming, Auburn, Texas Tech, Toledo, Virginia Tech for ranked teams. That's where they all finish. Season stats. Stevens, 57 touchdowns, 9 picks as a redshirt freshman at Clemson. Crazy. Chris Leak, first team All-American, 44 touchdowns. He's a junior, 300 a game. Did he run for some yards as well? He also ran for 539 yards, so he had a really nice year. Rushing, AP, 779. Reggie Bush, 765. He had 85 a game, so he must have got injured. No fumbles. He had 4 touchdowns. Only 1 touchdown for Adrian Peterson, but those were our top rushers. Receivers. Wow, none of our guys were super high at all. That's too bad. Oh, Brandon Marshall, 927 as a senior. Ted Ginn Jr. had a good year, 917 as a sophomore. Almost had 2 straight 1,000-yard seasons to start off his career, but okay, there we go. Okay, now we're going to get into the off-season here. So we're just going to sim till National Signing Day. We'll look at where all these final guys sign. We'll also look at the transfer portal to see, if some of the big names transferred anywhere. Okay, here we go. National Signing Day. Actually, let's look at the transfer portal first. So Robert Ayers, he left Florida State and went to Auburn. So he's a freak. He was only a sophomore last year. I think he was like a 90 overall. So that's a huge transfer. We'll see. We'll just kind of go down and we'll see if we see any apostrophes for any of our guys. Nothing. But Robert Ayers, Beanie Wells. So Beanie Wells leaves Michigan, is going to go to Wisconsin, running back. So that was kind of the top players. I like to look at just the QBs to see if any of them left. Yeah, no, none of the QBs. But that's a big one, Robert Ayers. Okay, now let's look at the prospects. So remember, some of these guys may have flipped. We'll see. But most of the time, they'll stick. So Notre Dame, they are going to get Russell. And then Kellen Moore is going to end up at Ohio State. That is a big get for Ohio State. Cam Newton stays at Florida State. That's where he's going to end up. And then Tyrod is also going to end up at Ohio State. So Ohio State gets 2 top 5 quarterbacks. We'll see who ends up being the better one between him and Moore. Go down to wide receivers, and we knew TCU is getting Des Bryant, absolute freak. And then Clemson ends up getting Golden Tate. So nice pickup for them at wide receiver. Rob Gronkowski is going to go to Duke, and they get Aaron Hernandez. So both Patriots real life tight ends are going to be the Duke tight ends. That is kind of cool. There we go. Okay, offensive tackle. Brian Beluga is going to go to Penn State, national champions runner-up this year. Pouncey, Mike, the guard, is going to go to Florida State with Cam. LSU gets Marquise Pouncey, the center. And then Oklahoma gets Steven Wisniewski. For defensive ends, Everson Griffin is going to go to Oregon. We knew that. Cam Hayward going to go to Wisconsin. We knew that. Von Miller, LSU. Justin Houston, Georgia. And then lastly, Kentucky gets Carlos Dunlap, and they get JJ Watt. Ohio State gets Marvin Austin. Cornerback, did he stay at Syracuse? He does. They get Joe Hayden. Eric Berry's going to go to Georgia. Penn State for Harrison Smith, and then Earl Thomas is going to be at Alabama. So that is the final recruiting class, guys. That is where all our guys are going to end up, and that is where I'm going to kind of end this first season. So right now, basically, I'm going to stop. I'm going to make all the recruits, and then we're just going to get into season 2. All right, so 2009 season, we are ready to get going here. So I signed all the recruits. We're going to go through this 09 recruiting class. It's another really good class, some really good players in it. Okay, so we're going to start it with QBs. There's going to be 5 quarterbacks in this class, and the first one, the number 7 player in the class, 5th overall, is going to be Andrew Luck. Now, Andrew Luck played at Stanford. He's from Texas, but he's kind of staying on the West Coast here. He's looking at Washington, Oregon, Stanford, Oregon State, and SC. He's only 6 feet tall, but we're going to jump that up to like 6'4" like he was in real life. Then the number 2 quarterback in the class, once again, a 5-star scrambler archetype, 6'4", is going to be Terrell Pryor. Now, Pryor's from Pennsylvania. Looks like he might go to Ohio State, which is his real life school. Then Arizona, Washington, Oregon, and USC. Next up, we have Robert Griffin III. Now, he's going to be a 4-star. He's going to be an athlete, so he's a scrambler archetype, but obviously he's going to play quarterback. Went to Baylor in real life, top 2 pick in the NFL draft, won a Heisman. He's looking at Tennessee, Miami, A&M, Marshall, and Georgia. Then we have Blaine Gabbert. Now, scrambler archetype, 4-star quarterback. He went to Missouri in real life. Right now, he's looking at Clemson, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, LSU. He's actually really athletic. He was a really good athlete, was like a top 10 pick by the Jaguars as well in the NFL draft. And then our last one is going to be a little bit further down the list. He's going to be a 4-star. He's going to be a improviser archetype, and it is EJ Manuel. Now, Manuel played at Florida State. Good in college, was a first-round pick in the NFL. He's looking at Virginia Tech, Clemson, UNC, Georgia, and Florida. Okay, moving on to running backs, and we got 2. The first one in the class is going to be Mark Ingram. Now, Mark Ingram played at Alabama. He's going to be a 5-star, number 5 player in the whole class. We're going to up his size a little bit. He's definitely bigger than this guy, but we're going to up his size. He's going to be Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, Miami, and Florida. Then the other running back is going to be LaMichael James. Now, LaMichael James is from Texas, but he obviously played at Oregon, was really, really fun player at Oregon on those Chip Kelly Oregon Ducks teams. He is going to be a 4-star recruit. He's looking at Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama, Ohio State. Moving on to wide receivers, and we have 5 in this class. The first one is going to be Julio Jones. Now, Julio Jones played at Alabama. This guy's going to be a 4-star recruit. He is one of the top players in his real life recruiting class, obviously Hall of Fame receiver, probably top 10 NFL receiver of all time. Looking like he's going to probably go up north. He's looking at Wisconsin, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Penn State, and then also Georgia. Next up, we have Justin Blackman. Now, Blackman is from Texas, but he played at Oklahoma State, was really good in college, got drafted by the Jaguars. He's going to be a 4-star recruit. He's looking at Texas, UCLA, Oklahoma, Washington, and Cal. Next up, we have Michael Floyd. Now, Michael Floyd played at Notre Dame, drafted by the Cardinals, had a pretty long NFL career, was really good in college, though. He is a 4-star recruit. He's going to be looking at North Carolina, North Carolina State, Clemson, Tennessee, South Carolina. Then we also have Marvin Jones. Now, Marvin Jones played at Cal, really good like jump ball receiver. This guy's 6'5". Marvin's more like 6 feet tall, but otherwise, I think this guy will work well. He's a 4-star recruit, 93rd player in the country. He's looking at USC, UCLA, Arizona State, San Diego State, and Stanford. And then our last one is gonna be Kendall Wright. Now, Kendall Wright is from Texas. He actually played at Baylor with Robert Griffin III. Fast receiver. We're gonna drop his height down a little bit, and he's looking at TCU, A&M, Tech, Texas, and Baylor, and he's a 4-star recruit. Okay, moving on to tight ends, and we got 2 in this class. The first one is gonna be Travis Kelce. Now, Kelce right here is gonna be a 4-star recruit. He actually played at Cincinnati in real life. Here, he's looking at Oregon, Texas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Georgia. Obviously, everyone knows who Travis Kelce is. And then the other tight end is gonna be Kyle Rudolph. Now, Rudolph played at Notre Dame, drafted by the Vikings, played a long time there, played with a bunch of teams in the NFL. He is looking at Georgia, Vanderbilt, Clemson, Virginia Tech, and Georgia Tech. He's going to be a 4-star as well. Okay, moving on to offensive line. We have 3 offensive tackles, no interior guys. So the first one and the number 2 player in the whole class is going to be Tyron Smith. Now, Tyron Smith played at USC, but it looks like he's going to go maybe more to the south in the SEC country right here. 5-star recruit, Tyron Smith, probably Hall of Fame offensive tackle, got drafted by the Cowboys. Really good in the NFL. He's looking at LSU, Ole Miss, Georgia, Auburn, TCU. Then we have Matt Khalil. Now, Matt Khalil played at USC. He's going to be a 5-star recruit, pass protector archetype, and his top 5 is USC, Stanford, Oregon, Washington, and Utah, so staying on that West Coast. Then lastly, we have Barrett Jones. Now, Barrett played at Alabama, but he's from Tennessee. He's going to be a pass blocking kind of agile archetype. He's going to be a 4-star recruit. He's looking at Texas, LSU, A&M, Alabama, and Ohio State. Okay, moving on to defensive ends. We have 1 defensive end. It is going to be Daquan Bowers. Now, Bowers in real life was like the number 1 player in this class. Absolute freak show. He ended up going to Clemson. He's going to be a power rusher archetype. He's a 5-star recruit, 8th player in the country, and he's looking at Florida, Georgia, Miami, Alabama, and then his real life alma mater with Clemson. Okay, moving to D tackle, and we have the number 1 player in the country, the number 1 overall recruit. He's going to be a 5-star D tackle, Marcel Darius. Now, he went to Alabama in real life. He's a speed rusher archetype, kind of that interior pass rusher. He's looking at Florida, Miami, Georgia, A&M, and Va Tech. Then we move to outside linebacker, and we got 1. It is Courtney Upshaw. He's going to be a 5-star recruit. He went to Alabama in real life. He's going to be a power rusher archetype, and he's looking at LSU, Alabama, Texas, Georgia, and Wisconsin. Then we have 2 corners. The number 1 corner in the whole class is going to be Patrick Peterson. He's from Florida, but went to LSU in real life. Zone archetype. He's got good size, and he's looking at Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, and Florida State. Then our other one is going to be Janoris Jenkins. He's from Florida, played at Florida with those Gators teams, played with the Rams in the NFL, good NFL career. He's going to be a 4-star recruit. He's looking at Georgia, Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, and Alabama. And then the last one is going to be Will Hill, and he's going to be the number 1 safety in the class, a 5-star. He went to Florida. And yeah, big 5-star. This is going to be a huge recruit. And he's looking at Florida State, Miami, Florida, Alabama, Georgia. So that is the recruiting class, guys. Once again, we will take a look at that again at kind of the mid-season point. Now we're going to advance to the season. We'll look at the top 25. Okay, start of the season. Let's look at the top 25. So Oregon obviously won the national championship last year. They're coming in as an 88 overall, first team in the country. Penn State got second. They're coming in at 87. Va Tech, Miami's a 90. Georgia's a 90. Maryland, 83. Clemson and Wisconsin both look really good. Kentucky, Ohio State, 92. 89 USC. Bama down to an 89. They were like a 95 last year at one point. Then the rest of the top 5, Washington looks like they could be really good. Notre Dame looks like they could be really good. So that is where we're sitting. Look at the Heisman watch here. Obviously, Heisman has just been kind of silly so far, but this is what we're working with. It's basically receivers win it every year. And sometimes the one guy I think had under 1,000 yards, which was just nuts. So now we are going to advance to about the midway point of the season. Then we are going to look at recruiting again, and we'll look at the top 25, see how the teams are performing. Okay, here we are in week 9. So let's look at recruiting first. So first up, we have Andrew Luck. And of course, Andrew Luck ends up back at Stanford. You just couldn't keep Andrew away from Stanford. It makes sense. And then, of course, Terrell Pryor ends up at his real life school, Ohio State. So there we go, off to a good start. For Blaine Gabbert, he's going to end up at Bama. So Bama gets, I actually like that. I think that could be a good fit there. Then we got Robert Griffin III. He is still up for, still up for play. Looks like Western Kentucky, A&M, or Marshall. So a definitely interesting group of schools for our guy RG3, but we will see. And then last one is going to be EJ Manuel, and he's locked in at Clemson. So Clemson gets a nice 4-star quarterback commit. Go to running backs, and we got 2. First, we got Mark Ingram. He is looking at Alabama. So Bama's in the lead, plus Florida State and Georgia. Then we have LaMichael James. He's looking at Texas and Texas A&M. Those are like basically the only 2 schools he's considering. Moving on to wide receivers. First up, we got Julio Jones, and he's going to Wisconsin. I don't know, man. Wisconsin's doing really good getting into the recruiting game. Getting a lot of our receivers as well. For Justin Blackman, he's going way out of left field. Oklahoma State actually got 3rd on his list, but he's going to go to Washington, pick that over UCLA. Then we got Kendall Wright, and he is looking at TCU. Looks like they're going to lock down Kendall Wright basically for sure. Marvin Jones, he is looking at Arizona State, maybe USC is his top 2. And then lastly, for Michael Floyd, he is locked in at NC State. So that is all our receivers. Moving to tight ends. First, we have Travis Kelce. He is still up on the board, but it's looking like Nebraska, maybe Oregon for him. Then for Kyle Rudolph, he's looking like Virginia Tech is going to be almost guaranteed unless another school makes a late push. For offensive tackles, the number 1 offensive tackle is locked in at LSU. They actually got one of the Pouncey twins last year too. So LSU just narrowly beats out TCU for Tyron Smith. For Matt Khalil, it's looking like Stanford, Utah, or UCLA. So Stanford might get one of the best tackles in the class to block for Andrew Luck. That would be huge. And then Barrett Jones is going to be looking at Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M as his top 3. Moving on to Daquan Bowers. And he is still up for play, and it's either Bama, Miami, or Georgia in his top 3. So really big recruit there, big 5-star, very interested to see where he lands. Then we have Marcel Darius, and he's locked in at Miami. So Miami could get him and Daquan Bowers, but it was down to Georgia and them. They locked down Marcel Darius, who's the number 1 player in the class. Then moving to outside linebacker, and we have Courtney Upshaw, and he is locked in at Alabama. So Bama goes to his real life alma mater. They're getting some good recruits right now. Moving on to cornerbacks, the number 1 corner in the class, Patrick Peterson, goes to Bama. So Bama, some big defensive recruits right there. And then we have Janoris Jenkins, who is looking at Ohio State and Notre Dame as his top 2, maybe Georgia as well. And then lastly, we got Will Hill, and he's locked in at Florida. So he went to his real life school with the Florida Gators, beat out Miami and Florida State. So that's where we're at with recruiting. Once again, we'll look at that at the end of the year. Looking at the top 25 here. So Georgia, undefeated, number 1 team in the country. Auburn, undefeated as well. 1 loss for Oregon, 1 loss Miami. Tech, Nebraska, Clemson, 2 losses. Utah, Maryland, Kansas State, Washington, 1 loss. Stanford, 4-2. Wisconsin, Bama, Purdue, UAB, Arizona, 3-3, and they're in the top 25. Western Michigan, Minnesota, and Florida. So that is our top 25. We can look. Oh no, we can't look at the college football playoff yet. We can look at the Heisman watch. It's going to be some wide receiver, guaranteed. Yep. Johnny Turnsick at Notre Dame. Then we do have Kamara at Georgia, Corbin O'Dowd at North Carolina, and Kyle Locke at Oklahoma State. Okay, we'll look at some of the team stats here. So points per game, Georgia, 41 points a game. You do not see many teams get into the 40s so far in this sim, so that is huge. Oregon, 39. Tennessee, Clemson, Washington, Wisconsin, Oklahoma. Looking defensively for Kansas State, for ranked teams, Stanford, Minnesota, Ole Miss, Auburn are kind of looking like the best defenses. Let's see if anybody has some crazy stats. We'll do a deeper dive at the end of the year for the stats. We'll just see if anybody has something crazy going on. Dennis Dixon looks like having a great year for Washington. 330 passing yards a game. Let's see if he runs for any as well. Definitely one of the best players in the country. Had a great year last year as well. 200 yards. So actually upping his rushing a little bit from last year, but not huge rushing numbers. He's looking like by far the most. Chase Daniels, 1,700. Chris Leak, who was a first team All-American last year, 280 a game. Jamarcus Russell, 1,660 at Ohio State. Rushing. I don't think we're going to have any running backs super high up there. Receiving. This is what the list is looking like. There's Percy Harvin, first year starter, sophomore, 100 a game he's averaging. So he's actually one of the best receivers in the country. Just hasn't played as many games, but yeah, 100 yards a game, 6 touchdowns for Lord have mercy, it's Percy. Now we are going to sim 2 conference championship weekend, see if there's anything that really grabs us. If not, we'll just get into the playoff. Okay, so conference championship weekend. Let's take a look at what we got here. Utah, West Virginia, Auburn, Georgia. That could be a good game. Washington, Maryland, Stanford, Clemson. Auburn, Georgia is actually a really good game. Georgia's trying to stay undefeated. We'll watch some of it. Yeah, they have Colt McCoy as well, actually, at QB. So Georgia lost in the national championship last year. Now they're undefeated, trying to, be the number 1 seed, stay undefeated, win the SEC, go undefeated on their way to a national championship. So they are trying to go on a run right now. Okay, SEC championship, here we go. Auburn, Georgia. Auburn's got some great defensive linemen. They have Colt McCoy at quarterback. Georgia has a ton of just talent at every level. Let's go through it. So 7-0 Georgia, and that is it. 7-0 after 1. Kind of start simming, maybe hop in here. 3rd and 8. Interception. So Auburn picks them off. They get a 7 yards loss on a sack. 3rd and 20. 4th and 18. They have to punt. Georgia first down, 2nd, 4th and 6. Punt, 1st and 10. Big play there. Oh, that's a penalty. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 14. None of these are even worth watching. 2nd and 10, 3rd and 19. This is a defensive battle. 2nd and 9. Okay, we'll watch this 3rd and 9. We'll see if Colt McCoy can do something here against this really good Dogs defense. Coy in at quarterback. Kind of a stack to the bottom here. Colt kind of getting antsy in the pocket, and he is going down. Colt McCoy did not look comfortable there at all. Not what you want to see if you're an Auburn fan. Not going your way right now. If Georgia can get anything going on offense, this one is going to be a wrap. Okay, 3rd and 3 here for the Dogs. You can watch this bit of this drive. They're trying to go up 14-0 at the half. Midfield point right here. Kamara, quick little slant. Nice throw. Good catch. Take what's there. Off coverage on, 3rd and short. Take a quick slant. Easy money. 2nd and 10, 3rd and 8, 4th and 8, and they have to punt. Wow. 2nd and 10, 1st and 10. So there's a 17-yard catch, 2nd and 8, 3rd and 4. We'll see if Colt's a little more comfortable here. Bunch to the top for McCoy. Colt drops back, slides in the pocket, hits him on a wheel route. Nice throw. Colt finds him in the flats. That's only 84 yards passing right now for McCoy, but he gets it done there. Trying to tie this up at the half. 2nd and 13, 3rd and 11 already, though, so we'll jump in. McCoy, here we go. 2 by 2. What do you got? They're bringing a blitz. He has to try to get... Oh, my gosh. Colt McCoy. That did not look good. I have not been liking what I'm seeing from Colt here. He looks overwhelmed by this Georgia front 7. Just not looking comfortable whenever we watch him. Georgia, 1st and 10. What happened there? Somehow they got it on the 16-yard line right now with 18 seconds left. So we're going to watch here. I don't know if it was a pick. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden Georgia a chance to score, go up 14 here, tries to hit a drag, gets underneath, breaks a tackle. They do have a timeout. You better use it. Why would they not use their timeout? Okay, there it is. So you wasted 5 seconds, but now I'm guessing they're just going to kick a field goal. Yeah, they are. So they're going to try to go up 10-0 here, obviously, unless they miss the field goal. Kick is up. Kick is good. It is going to be a 10-0 Georgia lead at the break. So I'm going to sim to the fourth quarter and we'll see where we sit. 10-0 here, Georgia. 10-0, 10-0, still 10-0. Colt McCoy and the Auburn Tigers. What happened there? Punt. Georgia football's 3rd and 13, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4 from the 20. Watch some of this play. If they score a touchdown here, we'll probably just super sim to the end. I do not think Auburn's getting 17 points here in the last 8 minutes. They've got zeros so far. Kamara, hand it off. Running back gets it downhill. Nice run right there. That is going to be a Georgia Bulldogs first down. 2nd and 8, 10-yard rush for a touchdown. Okay, so we are just going to sim to the end of this one. Georgia stays alive, stays undefeated here. 24-7, 24-14. They get another field goal there late. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what happened there at the end. So Auburn makes it a little bit close. It was 17-0 with 8 minutes left, but Georgia gets it done. They stay undefeated. Colt McCoy ends up having a good game somehow, even though he was awful until the fourth quarter. Didn't really need to do a ton, but he was good when he was in, when they asked him to do a little bit. CJ Spiller got a little bit of work. Auburn, that was their receiving. Rushing, Colt McCoy had 124 rushing yards. Okay. And then he passed for, wow. Okay. So if you include his rushing yards, he actually did have a really good game, but he did not look comfortable and then kind of caught fire in the fourth quarter. Made it close, but Georgia gets it done. Okay. We're going to sim through the rest of the conference championship games, get into the college football playoff here. So Heisman, okay, it actually goes to a quarterback, this Lewis Stevens, who actually looks like he's going to be freaking nasty. He was really good last year, only a sophomore, 4,300 yards, 48 touchdowns. I'm just glad it wasn't freaking a wide receiver who had like 1,000 yards. So happy about that. Let's look at the bracket here. So Georgia, Utah, Stanford, Maryland get our buys. We got Vautech, UNC, Washington, Marshall, Auburn, Oregon, West Virginia, Wisconsin. Okay, so some definitely Marshall. They're the 20th team in the country. Not really sure how they made it, but they did. They were 11-2. Maryland 12-1, having a really good year. We'll sim through the first week. I don't think there's anything there, especially because we just watched the SEC championship game. We'll sim, see where we're at. So first round, Virginia Tech beats UNC. They're going to play Georgia. Washington loses. Dennis Dixon goes down. They're going to play Utah. Wisconsin loses to West Virginia, and Oregon loses to Auburn. So some wild results there. So we're going to have Auburn, Stanford, Maryland, West Virginia, Vautech, Georgia, Utah, Marshall. We're going to sim through this round. Nothing there really grabbed me, and we'll see what the second round looks like. Okay, next round of the playoff. So Georgia beats Vautech. Marshall beats Utah. The Marshall Thundering Herd are on a run. Maryland beats West Virginia, and Auburn is going to play Maryland. Okay, you know what? We're going to watch Auburn, Maryland. Let's see if Colt McCoy can get his team to a national championship. Look, probably he'll have to play Georgia again, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so Auburn, Maryland, honestly, pretty similar overall, so we'll see what happens. All right, so here we go. A national championship appearance on the line. Probably going to have to play Georgia, which is undefeated, look like an absolute unit, but we're going to sim through the first quarter. We'll see where we're sitting. So 7-0 Maryland, 7-3 Maryland after one. Start watching some of the second quarter here, 3rd and 4, and we'll check this play out. So Auburn trips to the top. Colt McCoy in at QB. He can run, he can pass. Little pop pass. Ooh, I like the design. Nice little RPO. Not able to get it to go though. Okay, punt. Maryland football, 3rd and 10. We'll watch their third down. Okay, they have a great D-line for Auburn. They could cause some havoc right here. Can hand it off. No, I was a little worried if I was Maryland, you were going to take a safety there. So you just got to be happy that didn't happen. Okay, they're going to punt. Oh, I think the punt got blocked. 1st and goal from the 1 here for Auburn. They hit a 17-yard gain. It's literally at that 1-inch line. Let's see if Auburn can punch it here. McCoy, straight up ahead handoff. That is going to be easy work. Falls into the end zone. Auburn takes the 10-7 lead, I believe. Yeah, 10-7. Maryland football, 10-yard penalty, 2nd and 20, 3rd and 17, 4th and 17. They punt. Auburn ball. Couple of nice plays there. 19-yard reception, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 9. Let's see what the Tigers can do here. 3rd and 9. About the, just past the midfield mark. Want to get some more points here if you're the Tigers. Drop back. Maryland's bringing a blitz. Throws behind the blitz. So that's a great job. Sticky coverage on the back end for Maryland. Force the Auburn punt. Now Maryland has a chance to go get some points here. Oh, there's finally a big play. 27 yards. Is that Greg Olsen? That might have been Greg Olsen. I forgot. Yeah, he did go to Maryland. So they got Greg Olsen as their big offensive weapon. 3rd and 6 here. Big 3rd down for Maryland. Really similar area of the field we just watched. Auburn trying to get some points here. Drops back. Oh, that could have been a pick. The Auburn corner jumped that. Not able to make the play though. And Maryland is driving. 1st and 10. 2nd and 6. And they score a 32-yard run. Right there. Oh, that's a pass. So 32-yard pass. There it is. 14-10. Maryland lead. 3-yard run. 8-yard reception. 2nd and 8. 3rd and 6 here for Auburn. McCoy, whenever we're watching, he's not great on 3rd down, but we'll see what he can do here. We'll see if it improves a little bit. McCoy drops back. Bit of a blitz coming from Maryland. Throws to the outside. Open. Got his feet in bounds. That is a 1st down for the Tigers. And then they hit a 14-yard reception down to the 41. Then another big play. 22 yards down to the 19. Down to the 2-yard line. So here we go. Auburn trying to touch it. And we got some points getting scored here. So here's McCoy. Gonna just quick handoff. Ooh, really nice job by Maryland. Broke into the backfield. Got him for maybe even a little bit of a loss there. Okay, here we go. Now they're going much more heavy here. I form, goal line look, pulling guard. Oh, you cannot stop your feet on the goal line as a running back. You cannot sidestep in behind your pulling guard. Oh, and they're gonna kick a field goal. Okay. Oh no. Oh, it skipped one of the plays. So they did punch it in. I don't know why the Super Sim didn't let us watch it. But Auburn does end up scoring there 17-14. Okay, we're going to sim through here. Maryland gets a field goal. Okay, I did not think they were going to be able to do that. Okay, we're going to go to the 4th quarter. So this is for a national championship appearance. Auburn scores to make it 24-17. That is where we sit going into the 4th. 4-yard rush, Maryland, 3rd and 8. Ooh, this is a big down. Kind of in your own territory, want to get some points, but at least just get more, further upfield, maybe give your punter a little more room here. Okay, drops back, 3-man rush, plenty of time, fires a strike down the field, but great job by Auburn getting in at the catch point and making that play super tough on the receiver. Maryland's going to have to punt there, 42-yard punt, so not bad field position for Auburn. They can start with a 5-yard rush and then a 48-yard rush down to the 14. We're going to watch some of this. So they're trying to put this one away, trying to go up 14 with 8:30 left. Here's McCoy in at quarterback. Going to do a handoff, getting lateral, gains about maybe a half a yard there, not much. We're going to watch 2nd down here. Here's McCoy in at QB, trips to the top. Gonna hand it off downhill, gain a yard. So back-to-back handoffs that went nowhere for Auburn. And it is go time here. I mean, going up 10 is good, so you don't want to get too aggressive. But if you can go up 14, you might put this one on ice. Okay, Colt drops back, kind of runs in the pocket. Wow, great throw by Colt McCoy. Kind of a half roll, bought time for his tight end to kind of leak up the seam. Fires it in, and the Tigers are up 14. Maryland is on the ropes here with 7:58 left. They need a drive right now. Start with a -2-yard rush. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 12. They have to punt. Okay, so this one might be over. And there's a huge run, 28-yard reception. This one's going to be over, I think. 2nd and 5. 3rd and 3 from the 14. We're going to watch this play here. Okay, Colt. 2 receivers in tight, 3rd and 3, 14-yard line. They're going to do a little, fake jet pass. Colt McCoy keeps it, breaks a tackle. Going to be down inside the 5-yard line. So it is going to be 1st and goal from the 4. We're just going to watch this play. This one's basically over. Auburn is going to take this one, take down Maryland, and if they're down inside the 3, if Georgia wins, it's going to be a rematch of the game we watched earlier with the SEC championship. We're just going to go to the end here. So 38-17. Yeah, 45-17. Auburn runs away with it at the end, and Maryland goes down. Just were not enough to keep up with Auburn. Colt McCoy in at quarterback, doing work. Maryland did have Greg Olsen, right? Yeah, Olsen had 4 catches for 60 yards. He's a senior tight end. Auburn, Ham, nice day. McCoy, 31 yards and a touchdown, plus pass for 338 yards with a 90% completion percentage and a touchdown. So Colt McCoy played really well, leads Auburn to a national championship. Georgia's got playing Marshall, who's the number 20 team in the country. So if they can get it done, our matchup is set. Okay, looking at the bracket, and Marshall beat Georgia 41-27. So the Marshall Thundering Herd have a chance to win the national championship. They beat the undefeated Georgia Bulldogs. That is crazy. So we are going to watch Auburn once again try to win. They got to beat Marshall, who you'd think they would be huge favorites, but you never know. Can Colt McCoy lead his team to a national championship? They got a bunch of guys on the D line of our guys as well. Robert Ayers decided to transfer from, where was he at before? A good school, to come to Auburn. Clearly, he thought they had a chance to win in the national championship, and he was right. So Auburn's in 86, Marshall's in 83. So they're not a bad team, and they just beat Georgia. So who knows? But Auburn should be the favorite. Okay, here we go. So Marshall somehow made the natty. Colt McCoy leading out his Tigers for the national championship. Never would have seen this matchup coming, but we are going to go through the first quarter and see where we're at. 0-0, zeros across the board, still zeros. So defensive battle so far. 3rd and 7 here for Marshall. No, sorry, for Auburn on the 40. So out of field goal range. This might even be 4-down territory, honestly, if they don't pick up any yards. Oh, they're setting up a screen. Okay, so 4th and 7 from the 38. I'd probably go for this. Let's see what they do. They're going to punt it. That is a cowardly punt. I would definitely be going for that. This is probably going to be a touchback, and you're going to gain like 17 yards. Punt it out at the 27. That is the worst punt I've ever seen. Oh my God. They gained like 11 yards with that. Yeah, a literal 11 yards with that punt. So not great. Nice gain there. Marshall, 2-yard rush, 2nd and 10. Big play there, 29-yard carry. Down to the 32, loss of 4, and then no gain. Okay, so let's watch this 3rd and 14 for Marshall. Kind of at that same area of the field. If you don't get it here, do you want to try to kick a really long field goal? Marshall drops back. Time. Oh, that could have been picked. Auburn. Ooh, you would have liked to pick that one off. And I'm actually going to watch this because I feel like they might go for it on 4th. No, they're going to kick a long field goal. So this is a long field goal trying to break the 0-0 tie here. Kick is up. It is good. Nice kick there for Marshall. So they are going to take a early 3-0 lead, or not really early, but first points of the day. Okay, get going with Auburn. Let's see if they can answer back. Penalty Marshall. There's a 19-yard run. Incomplete. 4-yard run, 3rd and 6. Ooh, big play there, 13 yards. 2nd and 8, 3rd and 11 from the 36. So we are going to watch from here. Here we go. So trips to the top of the screen. Colt McCoy in at quarterback. Drops back, 3rd and 11. Oh, nice throw. Quick little out route on the sideline. Colt only has 65 yards passing right now. So definitely needs to get it going here. 1st and 10, 4-yard rush, 2nd and inches from the 1. So we'll watch this. See if Auburn can punch it in and take a 7-3 lead here. High form look. Hand it off, pulling guard, and he pushes his way in. So Auburn takes the lead right here. Big time drive. They needed that. 1-yard rush. 3rd and 7. Don't pick it up. Kick it to Auburn. 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2. They pick it up. Ooh, there's a 10-yard reception. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4 at midfield. We'll watch this. So McCoy, can you convert, try to go up 14-3 in the national championship at halftime? Colt McCoy drops back, standing tall in the pocket, kind of does a roll. Sometimes he gets antsy in the pocket. That is probably, he's made some good plays when we've watching. Sometimes he just gets those happy feet, just does some weird stuff. But Auburn gonna have to punt here. Marshall gets it on their 20, and they're already in 3rd and 9. So I just don't know. I don't know if Marshall has enough on offense here to keep up with Auburn. Auburn not great offensively, but good, and Marshall's just kind of okay to me, it seems. Ton of time in the pocket. Great job by the linebacker or safety there coming in, knocking that football away at the catch point. Gonna have to punt. Auburn gets it at like the 31-yard line. Start off with a 14-yard catch, and then a 12-yard catch, 4-yard gain, 3rd and 1 here. Okay, Colt, 3rd and 1, gonna be a timeout. Here we go. 3rd and 1, 31 seconds left. Auburn does have 1 timeout. This also is field goal range, so can kick a field goal if they don't convert. Colt drops back. Quick little out. Ooh, that is a dangerous throw by Colt McCoy. Could have been picked off. Instead, it is just knocked down. 2nd and 19. Marshall just cannot get it going. They just had to eat that 10.5. Okay, so Auburn football, but we're going to just jump to the 4th quarter here, and we'll see where we're at. So 7-3. Still 7-6, so low scoring game, but Marshall is in this one at the end. 2nd and 13, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 17, 4th and 27. They are going to punt. 2nd and 6 Auburn, 1st and 10 Auburn, 24-yard catch. 2nd and 3, 1st and 10 at the 29, 1st and 10 at the 26 or at the 16. We're going to watch a bit of this. So Auburn trying to go up 8 here. Colt McCoy in at quarterback, 1st and 10. Okay, quick little pop pass. Ugh. Some of these decisions I don't love, but you live to fight another day. 2nd and 10 from the 16. McCoy, tight split at the top here by his wide receivers. Gonna motion a guy across the formation. Fake pop pass, handed off on the inside. Breaks a tackle, gains about 7 on the play. We got a 3rd and 3 here. Huge 3rd down. Going up 4 is nice. Going up 8 is great. So Auburn, what are you going to do? Play of the day so far right here. Colt drops back, quick screen or quick slant over the middle, and that is going to be a touchdown. He's seen his slot uncovered. Marshall didn't have anyone over top of him. Gave him a little point and said, hey, we're hitting this slant right away. 8-point lead here. Now pressure's on Marshall. 2nd and 13, 3rd and 10. They don't convert. Punt. 2nd and 7, 1st and 10 Auburn, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 7 from the 31. We'll watch this. Maybe field goal range here. You want to even get 3-4 yards. If you're Auburn, then you can go up 2 scores. Little bubble screen on the outside. That's going to be a 1st down and a little bit more. Really nice play there. Once again, they kind of see Marshall's leaving that slot uncovered. Throw out that little quick bubble with a blocker out in front, and this might do it. If Auburn can score here, this really might be over. I don't know if Marshall has enough to score twice in the last 4:22. Even a field goal is going to be a 2-possession game. So, okay, Colt, national championship, trying to get it done, hands it off. So that is just going to be a field goal. But they are going to be up 2 scores, so they are going to be in a really good spot. Okay, Marshall, you're down 2 scores, my guys. They start off with a 23-yard reception, then another big play. And then all the way down to the 4-yard line. So all of a sudden, their offense catches fire. Still 2:45 left. You score a touchdown, you have 3 timeouts. This one is not over. Marshall drops back, trying to go end zone corner route, touchdown. Thundering herd, first touchdown of the national championship for Marshall. They cut this down to a 1-possession game. They needed to score, and they needed to score fast, and they did it. Great drive. They go for 2. They pick it up. I didn't even think to watch that. I wasn't doing the math. So they are only down 3 now. Auburn gets the ball back. They start out with a 3-yard run. Then they get it down to 3rd and inches. This is the play of the day. Marshall still has 3 timeouts. So if you stop him here, you're in a great spot. Game isn't over if they convert, but it is going to make it more tough. Quick pop pass. Wow. And he's gone. Oh my gosh. Colt McCoy sees the guy kind of get up the hole. Quick pop pass. Safety takes a bad angle, and that is going to be a walk-off winner for Auburn. They're going to go back up 2 scores with 151 left. I don't think Marshall's going to be able to come back after that. Start out with 1 yard. Yeah, 3rd and 4, 4th and 2, 4th and 7. We'll just watch this play. This is the ball game right here. It's basically over anyway, but we'll see if Marshall can make it a little bit interesting here. Drops back. Pressure. That is going to be it. Big knockout there. And Auburn is going to win the national championship. We watched a lot of their games this season, just kind of how it worked out. And we got to see them, get it done. 31-14. Auburn Tigers win the national championship in 2009. So Auburn gets it done. Beats Marshall, you know what? They made it a game at the end. They had them on 3rd and inches. If they get a stop there, they get the ball back down 3 with 3 timeouts left. So they definitely had a shot. Their running back played well. They just couldn't really pass the ball on Auburn. Tharp had a huge day for Auburn. Pitts and McCoy were both good running the ball. And then McCoy had a great season. And he's a junior. So unless he leaves early, Auburn's going to bring their national champion quarterback Colt McCoy back. Okay, so now we're just going to go to National Signing Day here. Get into the offseason. Okay, National Signing Day. So we're going to look at the transfer portal first. Maynard, we're just looking. Okay, so Andre Smith. So big offensive tackle, leaves Kentucky for Purdue. Looking for any apostrophes. Oh, Earl Thomas. So Earl Thomas went to Bama, transfers from Bama to his real life alma mater, Texas. So Bama loses a pretty good safety prospect. That looks like it. I'm just going to check the QBs, see if any of our good QBs left. No. So that is where we're at with that. Okay, now let's look at the final recruiting for this season. So Andrew Luck, he stays at Stanford. Terrell Pryor, we know Ohio State. Alabama gets Blaine Gabbert. Wow. And then Robert Griffin III ends up at Marshall, who gets 2nd in the national championship and then gets a huge 4-star athletic recruit at QB. And then lastly, EJ Manuel ends up at Clemson. Running backs, we got Mark Ingram at Alabama, goes to his real life alma mater. And then Texas gets LaMichael James. So that's a nice running back recruit for them. Going to receivers, Julio Jones ends up at Wisconsin, which we knew. Washington gets Justin Blackman. TCU gets Kendall Wright. North Carolina State gets Michael Floyd. And then Marvin Jones ends up at Arizona State. For tight ends, Nebraska gets Travis Kelce. And then Virginia Tech gets Kyle Rudolph. Moving to offensive line, Tyron Smith, LSU. Stanford does get the big left tackle, Matt Khalil, to protect Andrew Luck. And then Oklahoma gets Barrett Jones. So that's a nice pickup for them. Okay, getting into the D-line. So it was going to be really interesting where Daquan Bowers ends up. And he is going to end up at Georgia. Picks the Dogs. There we go. So Georgia gets the our number 1 D end. Miami gets the actual number 1 D end in the class. Plus they get the number 1 D tackle and number 1 player in Marcel Darius. So they really did good on the D line. See if Courtney Upshaw stayed at Bama. He did. Then we also had Patrick Peterson at Bama. Janoris Jenkins ends up at Ohio State. So big cornerback for them. And then lastly, we had Will Hill, who's going to end up at Florida. So that is it, guys. That's where we're going to end season 2. I'm going to make these recruits, put them on their school, and then we're just going to get into the next season. So season 3 on the way, which is going to be the 2010 season. All right, so season number 3 of this episode, this is going to be the 2010 season. Coming off an Auburn win of the national championship with Colt McCoy as their quarterback. So we're going to get into our top prospects right now. This is a pretty good class. Not great at QB, but definitely some really good defenders. And overall good class, I wouldn't say great. So we are starting off with the quarterbacks. And the first quarterback in this class we're going to have 2 is going to be Derek Carr. Now, he is from California. He played at Fresno State. He's going to be a 5-star field general archetype, 30th player in the class. And he's looking at Arizona State, Utah, Colorado, USC, and Cal. Then the other one is going to be AJ McCarron. Now, AJ McCarron played at Alabama. He's going to be a 4-star recruit, 47th player in the country. He's looking at Kansas State, Nebraska, Stanford, Colorado, and Maryland. So kind of a weird group of schools for him, but that's what he's looking at. Okay, moving into running backs. This was just not a great group of actual prospects to pick for, to get to our two running backs, but we do have two. First, we have Trent Richardson. Now, he is going to be a 4-star back. He went to Alabama, obviously in real life, was like the 3rd overall pick by the Cleveland Browns in the NFL draft. He's going to be a 4-star recruit, though, looking at NC State, UNC, Clemson, Georgia, and Virginia Tech. And then our other recruit is also going to be a 4-star. He's going to be an athlete, and it is going to be Eddie Lacy. Now, Lacy also played at Alabama. He's from Louisiana. He's going to be an elusive back archetype. Really, he's more of a power back, but we're going to jump up his weight and height. Going to be much bigger once he gets on the field, and he's looking at TCU, LSU, Oklahoma, Baylor, and Texas Tech. Next up, we're moving to wide receiver, and we got 3, and the first receiver is going to be Tavon Austin. Now, he's going to be the number 1 receiver in the class, a 5-star recruit, number 5 overall player in the whole class. So this guy's going to be an absolute freak. Obviously played at West Virginia in real life, but he's going to be looking at Clemson, North Carolina, Wake Forest, South Carolina, and Appalachian State. Next up, we have another 5-star recruit, and it is going to be Josh Gordon. Now, Josh Gordon's from Texas. He played at Baylor, 13th overall player in the whole country, out of Texas, going to be a deep threat archetype. Josh Gordon's super good downfield threat when he was at Baylor, and he's going to be looking at TCU, Ohio State, Baylor, A&M, and LSU. Then our last recruit is going to be Alshon Jeffrey. Now, he went to South Carolina. He's going to be a 4-star deep threat archetype, going to be pretty big already, and we'll make him a little bit heavier here, but he went to South Carolina in real life. That's his number 1 school. Then he's got Chippewas, he's got Clemson, UNC, and I think that's Liberty. The logo's pretty small, but there we go. So those are our 3 receiver recruits. We have no tight ends, but we do have a pretty good group of offensive linemen. So first up, the number 2 player in the whole class, 5-star recruit, is gonna be Taylor Lewan. Now, Lewan is actually from Arizona, but he played at Michigan. Big, pass protector archetype, and he's going to be looking at Texas, Oklahoma, TCU, LSU, and Texas A&M. Next up, we have Zach Martin. Now, Zach Martin played at Notre Dame, has had a crazy, really good career for the Dallas Cowboys. He actually played tackle in college, and then he moved inside to guard in the NFL. So we're going to start him out here at tackle. He's a little bit shorter. We're going to drop him down a little bit, but he's a 5-star recruit, 18th player in the country. He's looking at Texas, Oklahoma, TCU, LSU, and Texas A&M. Next up, we have DJ Fluker. Now, Fluker, big power tendency. He's going to be a 5-star recruit. He played at Alabama in real life. Absolutely massive guy. He's around 6'5", 6'6", but we're actually going to up his weight to like 350. Power archetype, 5-star. He's looking at Texas, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Oregon, and NC State. And then the last one is going to be a 4-star out of Mississippi, and this is going to be Gabe Jackson. He played at Mississippi State in real life. 4-star recruit. He actually played guard in college. We might move this guy inside to guard, but this tackle really fit this archetype well for him and from the same state. And he's looking at LSU, Ole Miss, TCU, Stanford, and Maryland. And then we have 1 guard in the class. He's going to be the number 1 guard. He's going to be a 5-star, and it is going to be Chance Warmack. Now, Warmack's from Georgia, but played at Alabama. 5-star, 28th player, and he's going to be looking at Clemson, Virginia Tech, UNC, South Carolina, and Wisconsin. Okay, moving on to defensive ends, and we have 3. So first up, we have Sheldon Richardson. Now, Sheldon Richardson, kind of a D tackle, D end, kind of a 3-tech pass rusher. And this guy's going to be 6'3", 290 with a run stopper archetype. Similar area of the country, so that's why I went with this guy, but he can kind of slide inside, outside with D end, D tackle. And he's going to be a 4-star recruit looking at Ohio State, Navy, Cincinnati, Pitt. Then we also have Jarvis Jones. Now, Jarvis Jones is from the state of Georgia, played for Georgia and USC, actually started at USC, then transferred back to Georgia. Got drafted by the Steelers in the NFL. He's going to be a 4-star recruit, kind of a run stopper archetype, run stopper pass rusher kind of blend for him. In real life, 4-star recruit, 63rd player in the country. He's looking at Auburn, Georgia, Clemson, Tennessee, and Florida. And then the last one is going to be a 5-star recruit, and it is going to be Olivier Vernon. Now, he played at the University of Miami in real life, played with the Giants, Browns in the NFL. He's going to be a speed rusher archetype, 5-star recruit, and he's going to be looking at Miami, Clemson, Clemson, Florida, Georgia, and Florida State. Then we have 1D tackle in the class, and it is going to be Fletcher Cox. Now, Fletcher Cox played at Mississippi State. He's from the state of Mississippi. He's going to be a D tackle, kind of a run stopper, inside pass rusher. He's not 6'6", we'll drop him down a little bit there, but kind of that interior pass rusher. Obviously had a crazy, really good NFL career with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's going to be looking at Florida, Bama, Clemson, Miami, and Florida State. Moving on to linebackers, and first up, we have Khalil Mack. So he's going to be a run stopper archetype. He's going to be from Florida, just like Khalil, but Khalil was from Florida, but actually went up and played for Buffalo, like small school, got drafted really high, I think top 5 or top 10 by the Raiders, obviously traded the Bears, now at the Chargers, great NFL career. So he's going to be looking at Miami, Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, and Florida. He's going to be a 5-star recruit. Then we have Manti Te'o. So Te'o is obviously from Hawaii. It's hard to find linebackers or anyone from Hawaii. So he's actually, I put him in California, kind of closest spot to him. I found a linebacker who fits. He's going to be a 5-star recruit. Manti Te'o was an absolute freak at Notre Dame. Was up for the Heisman, was like a 2nd-round pick in the NFL, but in college, he was incredible. And it looks like he's going to be looking at Stanford, Oregon, Washington, USC, and Utah. Then we're going to move inside to middle linebacker, and the first one is going to be the number 7 player in the class, a 5-star recruit, and it is going to be Bobby Wagner. Now, Wagner played at Utah State in college, drafted by the Seahawks in the 2nd round, Hall of Fame linebacker, and he's going to be a field general archetype, really fits that mold, and he's going to be looking at Tennessee, Clemson, Georgia, Ole Miss, and LSU. Then the other one is going to be Luke Kuechly. So these guys got drafted in the NFL at the same time, same recruiting class here. Kuechly is from Ohio, but played at Boston College, top 15 pick by the Panthers. Probably would have been a Hall of Famer if he kept playing. Retired early because I think kind of head injuries and stuff, but he's going to be a 5-star recruit, 24th player in the country. He's going to be looking at Wisconsin, Ohio State, Notre Dame, West Virginia, and Oklahoma. Then moving on to cornerbacks, and we have 2. The first one is going to be Mo Claiborne. Now, Claiborne is from Louisiana and played at LSU, top 10, 15 pick by the Cowboys. Wasn't great in the NFL, but really good in college at LSU. And he is going to be a 5-star recruit. He's going to look at Georgia, Clemson, UNC, Virginia Tech, and Auburn. Then we have another 5-star recruit, and this is going to be Dre Kirkpatrick. Now, Kirkpatrick played at Alabama, really good college career, really physical, big corner. Got drafted, I think, by Cincinnati in the 2nd round. So this guy's going to be a zone archetype. He's only 5'11", but will boost up his height. And he's looking at Florida State, Georgia, Florida, Auburn, and LSU. Then we have one free safety who was actually a cornerback, but I moved him to free safety just because it kind of fit this player the best. He's a hybrid archetype. Might move him to corner. Maybe we'll leave him in free safety for this sim, but it's going to be Stephon Gilmore. He's going to be a 4-star recruit, but the 35th player in the country, so a really high 4-star. He's going to be looking at Georgia, Clemson, LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn, and he played at South Carolina in real life. So that is going to be the recruiting class. Definitely some really good players in it for sure. And once again, we are going to look at that again at kind of the midway point of the season. Okay, so here we are at the start of the season. We're going to look at the top 25, look at the Heisman, and then go look at some rosters. So Auburn coming in as the number 1 team in the country, defending national champs. They're in 86. Wisconsin's had some really good recruiting classes. They are in 88 overall. Maryland 85, Georgia a 91, North Carolina 84, Washington 89, Va Tech, Miami a 90 overall. 91 for Oregon, so they're going to be really good. Stanford is going to be an 86, Oklahoma an 87. LSU, Nebraska, Ole Miss, Tech, so no Ohio State or Bama. Michigan is going to be a 90, so Michigan has a good team this year. Look at the Heisman watch here. Darius Hayward-Bay and DeMarco Murray and Percy Harvin all on the list. Okay, so we have some big names, even though none of them are quarterbacks, which is weird, but at least it's some big names. Where we're at with all our players, that is what we're looking like going into this season. So we are going to sim to the middle of the season, then we're going to look at recruiting, and we're going to look at top 25, see how the teams are looking. So first up, we have quarterbacks, and the first one is going to be Derek Carr, and he commits to USC. So first time we've seen USC get a big-time recruit in a while, one of our guys, and they get a big-time star quarterback. Really good pickup. And then AJ McCarron is going to go to Colorado, so they get a 4-star recruit. Colorado beats out Nebraska. USC beats out Colorado, so they're both kind of in on those guys. Moving on to running backs, and Trent Richardson still up in the air. He's looking at NC State, UNC, Clemson, Georgia, Maryland. And then Eddie Lacy is looking at LSU, Kansas State, Baylor. He's still up in the air as well. Then we go to wide receiver, and the number one receiver in the country, Tavon Austin. He is looking like he's going to end up at Clemson. I like that fit. They love to throw the ball. Put Tavon Austin in that offense and just let him cook. Josh Gordon, he is looking like either Texas A&M, Ohio State, or TCU. I kind of want him to go to Ohio State. Go play with Terrell Pryor. That could be a wicked combo. And then lastly, we have Alshon Jeffrey, and he's looking at Wake Forest, South Carolina, and Liberty. So that's where he's going, or he's leaning. For offensive line, and Taylor Lewan is going to end up at Oklahoma. They got a really good O-lineman last year. They have Tim Tebow. They have DeMarco Murray. And now they get the number one offensive lineman in the country. And they get Zach Martin. So they get Zach Martin. Wow, Oklahoma could be a factory right now. They are getting some absolute studs. Then we go to DJ Fluker, and he's going to go to Nebraska. So they get a big power offensive lineman. He picks them over Texas. And then lastly, we have Gabe Jackson, and he's still up in the air. He's looking at LSU, Ole Miss, and TCU. Then for guards, we have Chance Warmack, and he is locked in at Clemson. So that is a really nice pickup for the Tigers. They've done well in recruiting this whole time. Okay, then moving on to DNs. First, we have Olivier Vernon. Now, Vernon commits to Alabama. So Bama gets a really good speed rusher. He picks Bama over Miami and Clemson. Then we have Jarvis Jones, and he picks Tennessee. Tennessee was kind of the runaway favorite there. It looked like Auburn was kind of in on him, but looks like Tennessee was kind of all the way. Lastly, we have Sheldon Richardson. He's still in play. He's looking at Cincinnati, Ohio State, and Pitt. And go to Fletcher Cox, number one D tackle, and he's going to Clemson. So Clemson gets him and Chance Warmack. They've got some really good players. They might get Tavon Austin. So they are putting together a really nice class. And moving on to outside linebackers. First up, we have Manti Te'o, and he's going to go to Oregon, picks them over Colorado and Stanford. I like that fit. Definitely could have seen Manti Te'o going there to Oregon. Really like it. Then we have Khalil Mack, and he's going to go to Alabama. So Alabama gets Khalil Mack coming in the door to be an outside linebacker for them. Then moving into our two middles, and first up we have Bobby Wagner, and he's going to Clemson. So Clemson could have an absolutely crazy recruiting class here. Great pickup for them. And then we have Luke Kuechly, and he's going to go to Wisconsin. So kind of makes sense. I definitely could see, Kuechly playing at Wisconsin. He picks them over Michigan and Notre Dame. Then going to our cornerbacks, and we have two. So the first one is going to be Dre Kirkpatrick, and he's going to go to Miami. So it's down to Miami, Florida, and Auburn. He picks the U. And then we have Mo Claiborne, and he's going to go to Georgia. So they have Eric Berry as well. They could have a really nice secondary with those two. Then lastly, we have Stephon Gilmore, and he is still up in the air. He's looking at Georgia, Stanford. So he could go to Georgia with Mo Claiborne, with Eric Berry, have a really crazy secondary for the Dogs. So that is where we're at in recruiting. We'll check on that again at the end of the season. Okay, let's look at the top 25 now. So Oregon, undefeated, number one team in the country. Looks like they're the only undefeated team right now. So playing really well. Wisconsin, Oklahoma, yes. Oklahoma, please go on a run. I want to watch Tim Tebow and DeMarco Murray. Auburn, let's see them go on a run as well. LSU, Stanford, Texas. First time we've seen Texas make some noise in a while. Duke, Washington, K-State, Texas Tech, Georgia, Purdue, USC in the running, Clemson in the running, Liberty, Nebraska in the running, Michigan, Boston College, Penn State, Colorado. Okay, so no Alabama and Ohio State still though, but hey, that's just how it goes, I guess. The Heisman watch here, bunch of guys, the Tennessee quarterback and receivers, basically. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I really want them to tweak the whole Heisman thing, but that's fine. Not a big deal. Okay, let's look at some team stats here. So national points per game, we have Stanford, 42 points per game for Stanford. That is crazy. TCU, Liberty, Clemson, Oklahoma, doing really well. Washington, Florida State, USC, Ohio State. Ohio State's 6-1, but they're unranked. How's that even work? Where's Bama? See them at all. So maybe Bama's just not good, but Ohio State's 6-1 and somehow not ranked in the top 25. So Oregon has the number one defense in the country. Crazy, ranked, they're playing in the Big Ten, super tough conference. Liberty, Wisconsin in there, Auburn, LSU. So some of the top teams with some really good, good defenses, it looks like. So we're going to sim to conference championship weekend, see if there's any really good conference championship games. Okay, here we are, end of the season, conference championship weekend. Who do we got? Colorado Tech, Bama, Texas, but yeah, they don't really even have, Bama's 8-4. Oregon, Ohio State. That is a great game, but both those teams should make the playoff. Duke, BC. It is tempting to watch Ohio State, Oregon, but I think they're going to both make it. So we're going to just risk it. That is a really good game, though. I want to see Terrell Pryor and Tebow. Okay, so QB at Penn State wins the Heisman. So we do get another QB, which is good. I like to see that. Let's look at the bracket. This is massive. So Texas Tech, Ohio State, BC get the byes. Oklahoma did make it. Oregon, Purdue, Penn State, San Diego State, Georgia, Duke, Stanford, Oklahoma. We're watching Oklahoma. I wanted them to make it. We're going to watch that Oklahoma game right now. Too bad this wasn't a year later because Andrew Luck would have been starting for Stanford versus Tebow, but we'll take this. 87 versus 86, two really good teams. Love this matchup. Let's go. There's the tree for Stanford, getting the crowd hyped. Let's go. OU Stanford. Okay, we're going to go through the first quarter here. So 7-0 Stanford, 14-0, 21-0 Stanford. And they have it first and goal on the 3-yard line. What the hell, Oklahoma? All I wanted to do was watch Oklahoma, and they're about to be down 28-0 here. Jeez. Little handoff. There's a good tackle. You gotta hold them to 3 here and hope Tebow has just some magic in him. Okay, here we go. Trips to the top. Oklahoma needs to get off the field here. I mean, a turnover would be crazy, but it's going to take off. That's going to be a touchdown. He dives in. Great job. This Stanford QB, him and Tim Tebow have the 2 highest overalls in the country. So really good. And they have jumped all over Oklahoma. It is 28-0. There's a 14-yard reception. Injury. Oh, incomplete. Sorry. 3rd and 13. So I don't know what is up with Oklahoma. I just wanted to see Tebow and DeMarco Murray, but they can get nothing going. Here's Tebow in at quarterback, DeMarco beside him. Tebow directing traffic. Drops back. Gonna try to take off and run, and Tebow goes down. Stanford is just blowing the doors off them. What is going on? 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1. They pick it up. 2nd and 12, 2nd and 17, 3rd and 16, 4th and 16. They miss a field goal. So maybe this is your shot, Oklahoma. Down to 3rd and 8. Let's see. So Tebow, you need, even if you could maybe cut it to 28-7 going into the 4th quarter, you have an outside shot. Here's Tebow over the middle, holds on. Nice catch. Oklahoma desperately needed that. Holds on in traffic. Keep the ball moving. Okay, here's going to be a 3rd and 8 again already. See what Tebow can do. Tebow and DeMarco in the backfield. Tebow drops back. Oh my God, that's a pick 6. Tebow, what is going on? Timmy T. Oh my goodness. Stanford we're going right to the end of the game now. I just can't believe this. I have to watch this one play, and then we are going to the end of this one. I cannot believe Oklahoma just got pantsed in front of the whole country. Their shit caved in. 35-0, 35-7, 42-14, 42-17, okay, 42-24. 45, 31, 45, and that is it. So Oklahoma did end up getting some points in the second half, but this was all Stanford. They were up so big. Every once in a while you'll let the foot off the gas a little bit, but man, I cannot wait till Andrew Luck takes over for this team next year. They have a great quarterback right now, and then Andrew Luck is just going to step in, and he could be at an absolute just in a great spot. But this Sprong, I think, Spriggs, he's really good for them right now. He's the best quarterback alive now. Him and Tebow are the best overalls, so and Tebow's done. So looking at some player stats, Spriggs, yeah, he's a 90 overall, senior quarterback. 141, 2 touchdowns, didn't need to do a ton. Didn't really run the ball. He did run for a touchdown as well. Farrell had a really nice day running the ball for Stanford. For OU, Tebow, oh my God, Tebow and DeMarco both got shut out. Passing, Tebow, 243, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Marco had a few receptions. So Oklahoma, I wanted to watch him. We saw Tebow make one nice throw, but it was a blowout. Okay, we're going to advance. So Oregon goes down to Purdue. So we got Purdue, Texas, Penn State beats San Diego State, Stanford, Boston College, Ohio State, Georgia. We are watching that game 100%. That's going to be Terrell Pryor versus Pat White. So a couple of our quarterbacks, Terrell Pryor, just an absolute insane freshman year. Let's go. This is a great matchup. 91 versus 87, but Ohio State's had a much better year on the field than Georgia. Georgia's like 9-4, so we will see. But man, this is a great matchup. Hopefully it's not just an absolute blowout like the last game. Got a night game here between Ohio State and the Dogs. Okay, we're going to sim through the first quarter. It is going to be 7-0 Ohio State, 14-0 Ohio State. Okay, so at least it's not 21-0 like the last game, but 4th and 6, going to be a punt. Ohio State, 9-yard reception. 1st and 10 on the 46, 2nd and 3, 3rd and 3. So we'll watch this play here. Here we go. So that's Terrell Pryor in at quarterback. Just a superstar freshman right now. He's going to hand that ball off. Quick handoff. And that guy is just getting downhill in an instant. That guy has some speed. Okay. 1st and 10, 3-yard rush. Or no, 3rd and 9 now. Okay, 3rd and 9 on about the 25. Are in field goal range, but if you're Ohio State, you want to go try to put this one away. Go up 21-0 right now. Pryor up over the top, fires that to the outside, breaks a tackle, getting up the sideline, out at about the 11-yard line. Next play, 2nd and 7, 3rd and inches from the 1. We'll watch here. Let's see if Ohio State can punch it. This could be third. This is 3rd and inches too. So they actually technically couldn't get a first down. No, great job by Georgia. Fires in the backfield. There it is. Great play by the Dogs. And that is going to hold Ohio State to 3. They're still going to be up 17-0. Georgia needs to get it going here. 12-yard reception. 2nd and 6, 3rd and 16. So Ohio State is just giving Georgia all they can handle. Here's Pat White in at quarterback. Let's see if he can get something going. They have CJ Spiller and Pat White back there. White, he's going to take off, runs over a guy, flips it down the field. He's got a man. He underthrew him. He actually did have that guy open. I don't really know why he took off. If he would have just stayed in the pocket, that guy was wide open. But now it's going to be Ohio State football, 2nd and 6. 3rd and 5. I think they're on their own 5-yard line though. So you got to be careful here if you're Terrell Pryor. You're a freshman quarterback. You do not want to make a mistake. Here's Terrell. Drops back, fires, and great job by Georgia with the breakup. Pryor throws that slant in, but they meet him at the football and knock it out. Great play by the DB. Georgia they're already on 3rd and 7. They need to do something here. Here we go. Pat White in at QB, under center, fires it to the outside, and that is going to be a touchdown. Wow, great play. Oh no, this is Kamara in. Okay, so I don't even know where Pat White is. Okay, I don't know what's going on in their QBs, but I guess Kamara's in. There we go. No Pat White. Okay, jumping to the next play. Now Ohio State needs to answer here. 3rd and 7. Let's see what Pryor can do. Trips to the bottom. 36-yard line, 3 minutes left. Pryor drops back. Pressure. Slant. He's going to get a first down. Oh, they call him that 4th and inches. Wow. He was right there at the sticks. Are they going to go for this? They punt. Oh, wow. Okay, so 1st and 10. Couple of penalties here for Ohio State. Georgia's keeping this one rolling. 1st and 10 again. 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10. So here's a big 3rd down. Let's see what Georgia's got. So trips to the top. This is Kamara, not Pat White. I thought Pat White was in, but it's Kamara. They're setting up a screen to CJ Spiller. Got blockers out in front. Got to break a tackle, CJ. CJ gets caught on the edge there, goes down, and that is going to have to be a field goal here for the Dogs. They do make it. So now Terrell Pryor's got about 50 seconds to try to go make a play. 14-yard catch. 14-yard catch. 2nd and 6. 3rd and 5 at the 42. We'll watch right here. Oh, they got to run to the ball. Oh, this is going to be an offside. Something weird is happening here. Yeah, sometimes this weird thing. Yeah, it's going to be... In the Super Sim, like I literally seen Georgia's quarterback out there. I don't know. Sometimes that'll happen in this Super Sim. Really weird. Like Wildcat type looking thing. I don't know. So that is going to be one more play for Ohio State. And they're going to try to kick a really long field goal. Let's see if they hit it. Kick is up. Long. I think he missed it. No, he was good. Wow. Huge kick there for Ohio State. Extend their lead a little bit. We're going to go through this third quarter. 20-17. Oh, wow. Georgia's in front. Georgia's in front big. 31-20 all of a sudden. So they just took over in that third quarter. Scores a couple touchdowns. 4th and 2. Ohio State goes for it and picks it up. 2nd and 7. 3rd and 7 here for Ohio State. They need something here. All of a sudden, they're down 11 at the start of the fourth quarter. Out of field goal range, they got to get something going. Pryor gets a little hook route, sits down in the zone, completes it. Nice play. 2nd and 8, and here's a 3rd down already again for Ohio State. Let's see what they can do. Trips to the top of the screen. Ohio State running read option. Wow, huge hole right there. Gets upfield. Giant gain, and that is a huge pickup down inside the 11-yard line. Okay, we'll jump one play ahead. Down to the 4. Okay, we'll watch here. 2nd and 3 from the 4. Let's see if Ohio State can punch it. Cut this down to a 4-point lead for Georgia. Okay, drops back. End zone, easy money. Slant route over the middle. Nobody home. Huge touchdown for Ohio State. Get it back to down to a 1-score game. Now it's going to be Georgia. 1-yard game for CJ. Here's a nice pickup. 2nd and 6. 3rd and 6. Huge 3rd down here. So Kamara and CJ in the backfield, trips to the bottom. Georgia up 3, gonna have this little orbit motion, back out. Kamara drops back over the middle, picked off, threw it right at the linebacker, and Ohio State is going the other way with the football. Wow, that is a horrible throw, and Ohio State has a chance to go take a lead here. That was ugly. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4. In field goal range, but obviously if you're Ohio State, you do not want to take a field goal here. You want to punch this, take a lead. You're still down. Oh no, you can tie it with a field goal. So hand it off. Ooh, yes, just chop his feet. That is going to have to be a field goal. You can't go for it on 4th and 4. So we're going to have a tie ball game right here, barring the field goal attempt. It is up and good. So we have a tie game. 2nd and 6, Georgia. 3rd and 5. They pick it up. 1st and 10, 2nd and 8, 3rd and 7. We'll watch this. So 3rd and 7 on the 50. Trips to the top here. Okay, Kamara drops back, takes off, fires it over the middle. Great throw. Wow, on the run. Kamara hits him in stride. We got 3:43 left, and Georgia is cooking. 2nd and 15, 3rd and 8. In field goal range, I believe. Yeah, for sure. So this is a big play for Ohio State. If you can hold them to 3, you give Pryor to go a chance to go win it. If you're Georgia, you just want to keep converting. Kamara drops back, out in the flat, breaks a tackle. Wow, great rally tackle to make it 4th and inches. What is Georgia gonna do? I'm assuming they're gonna kick 3. They are, okay. We're gonna watch just in case they went for it on 4th down, but they're kicking 3. Kick is up and good. So Georgia, 3-point lead with 3 minutes left here. Okay, Ohio State, what do you got? 2:43, 2:37, 2nd and 8, 3rd and 8, 4th and 14. They're going to have to punt. Okay, I don't know what just happened. Was there a penalty? Okay, what just happened there? Sacked and then gained 16? So he just 3rd and 8. Oh, they went for it on 4th down and gained 16 yards on 4th and 14 from their own 21. I just assumed they would punt. Oh my gosh, what a play. 3-yard rush, 2nd and 7. 60-yard run. Terrell Pryor, 60-yard touchdown run with 50 seconds left to go up 4. Oh my gosh, I wish I was watching that play. 1st and 10, 3rd and 8 for Georgia. Oh my God, Terrell Pryor is a freak. He is a freak. True freshman goes for 60. Could be the game winner. Georgia, 3rd and 8, own 26-yard line. Kamara going up over the top, swatted, and this is it. This is Georgia's season on the line right here, right now. Ohio State trying to book their ticket to the semifinal. Georgia on the brink here. Kamara drops back, 3-man rush for Ohio State, up over the top, picked off again. He's thrown a few picks today, and Ohio State does it. It is over. They are done. Georgia is cooked. Ohio State wins it. I cannot believe Terrell Pryor had a 60-yard touchdown run to win the game. Crazy. So they win 41-34. They were down 10 in the 4th quarter. Pryor 183 and 3 scores. There's a nice little touchdown on the slant there. So player stats, Pryor 183, 2 touchdowns, plus had 102 on the ground. This kid is gonna be an absolute superstar. Costanzo is his big receiver, only a sophomore, 85 overall. Also has Craig Whitaker, only a junior, so he could be back next year. Wow. Ohio State gets it done on the back of Terrell Pryor. Okay, so this is where we're at. So we have Stanford, Ohio State, Texas versus Texas Tech. So I'm actually going to sim through this round, and we're just going to go to the final. We'll see where we're at. I'm kind of hoping for Ohio State, Texas. I think that'd be a cool matchup. Stanford beats Ohio State and Texas wins. So Texas is 14-1. Stanford is 13-2. They make it to the national championship. What a run for Stanford. And the fact that they have Andrew Luck coming in the door next year too is just crazy. So I just want to look. So Stanford, really good O-line. This Spriggs is just a great quarterback. Really good receiver in this Deontay Farrell, one of the best. Like, they are actually just a really, really good team. And then you have Chad Henne as a backup, but you have Andrew Luck on the way next year. So they are set up for success. And then for Texas, they have like literally they're made it with an 81 quarterback and not even good running backs or receivers. They do have some good players on defense, 3 really good linebackers. I honestly like Stanford in this thing. Texas is 14-1, but I'm picking the Cardinal. Okay, so here we go. National championship, Stanford, Texas. Let's go. Okay, we're just going to go through the first quarter here. So Stanford up 3-0, 6-0. That is where we sit after 1. 4th and 1 here for Texas. They are going to kick a field goal, 6-3. Penalty, 2nd and 17, 3rd and 15. Here's a Texas. Wow, how'd they get the ball right here? They must have been a turnover. Okay, so Texas 3rd and 7 on the 11-yard line. So they're trying to take a lead here for the Longhorns. Let's see what they can do. Drops back. Fires to the outside. Nice throw down at about the 1-yard line. Really nice throw there. So you assume Texas is able to punch this right here, and they do very next play. So 10-6 Texas. Stanford 3rd and 8 right here. We'll watch this. They got a superstar quarterback. They need him to make some superstar plays here. At 6 points, that is not enough. They need to get it going. Drops back, kind of stops, going far side. You cannot throw across your body like that. That is a horrible decision by their senior quarterback. Pick 6 Longhorns. They are 14-1 for a reason, I guess. I believed in Stanford. I just like their QB position so much more. They're only they are 13-2, but huge play Longhorns. What just happened there? And Texas has it on the 1-yard line. All of a sudden, it's 24-6. So Stanford must have turned the ball over. Something weird happened. Now Stanford finally gets a big play. But is this going to be just too little, too late? 1st and 10, 1st and goal from the 1. So they really need a touchdown here. Punch this in. You'll be down, around 9-ish points. Hand it off. They are in. So barring, 2-point conversion, they could be down 10 here. So they're still in it. But that group of plays did not go Stanford's way. They go for, they just kick an extra point. So they're going to be down 11. 2nd and 6 Texas. They pick it up. 21-yard gain. 2nd and 7, 2nd and 2. 3rd and 5 here for the Longhorns. Already basically in field goal range if they have a halfway decent kicker, though. Directing traffic, gonna hand this fake handoff, roll out. This is gonna be a sack. Oh, he beats him to the corner. He's got some speed, gonna slide down, gain 2 yards. Should make it a very manageable field goal. And yeah, they'll be able to extend their lead here. Oh, they missed it, but they got the ball. What is going on? Oh, he went for it. I think he went for it on 4th down, and then now all of a sudden it's 3rd and 12 already. So they went for it and then lost yards. Now it's 3rd and 12 for Texas. 2:33 left. Okay, drops back. Time, pressure. He's going to tuck it and run. He does have wheels. He's going to be about a yard short. They did go for it last time. So now I'm actually going to watch this play. Okay, they are going to go for it. So they get aggressive on 4th down. 4th and 1, huge down right here for the Cardinal. Can they get a stop? No, straight ahead run, gets about a yard. That's all they needed. 2 yards, 1st and 15, 2nd and 15, 2nd and 25. So they're just losing yards. 3rd and 19, 4th and 17. They're going to kick a field goal. It is good. So 27-13 lead Stanford football. 3rd and 9. They're going to punt. So we're just going to go. Oh my God. And that's a 27-yard touchdown. I was just going to try to get through the half. Okay, so it is 34-13. Texas has a big lead. We're going to go to the end of the 3rd quarter. We're just going to go through quick. 41-13. This is just a blowout. 41-20. Stanford. Oh, it's Texas football. 4th and 9. They punt. So Stanford ball. 2nd and 3. 3rd and inches from 34. We'll watch this play. Stanford down 21 here with 8 minutes left. They need an absolute miracle. 3rd and inches. He's going to take off, throws it, picks it up. Zach Spriggs has 119 yards with 2 interceptions, and he's debatably the best quarterback in the country. So he has just not showed up. 3rd and 3, 1st and 10, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10. 4th and 9. They got to go for this. We'll watch this play. So if they don't score here, we're just going to super sim till the end. It is now or never. Stanford, you are completely on the ropes. Spriggs, what do you got? Little pop pass. Oh my God. He gets absolutely decapitated, and Texas picks him off for the 3rd time. Wow, what a hit. Absolutely boomstick over the middle. This is a tough way to end your college career for this Stanford quarterback. Texas is going crazy right now. I want to see if there's a replay of that hit. Holy. He legit knockout right here. Boom. Pops the ball up. Texas goes the other way. And that is going to be it for the Cardinal. So tough way to end it. Great season. But the Longhorns are going to win the national championship. 41-27 is going to be the final. So Texas gets it done in 2010. So far in this sim for this episode, we've got Oregon in 08, Auburn in 09, and then Texas here. We have had no repeat champs. It's been Clemson, Ohio State, Stanford. So Stanford actually was trying to win their 2nd of the sim. Penn State, Wisconsin, Oregon, Auburn, Texas so far. And there it is. Texas gets it done. Alrighty, so Texas national champs. Let's look at the final top 25. So Texas 15-1, great season. 11-3 for Penn State. Ohio State 12-3. Georgia, Clemson 9-4. Oregon, USC, Oklahoma 9-4. Washington, Auburn, A&M, Texas Tech, and that is it. Michigan 8-5. So that rounds out our top 25. Saw the Heisman winner. It was the Penn State quarterback. Actually had a really good year, but somehow now Terrell Pryor is leading the Heisman race. So I don't really know. Heisman is kind of broken in my opinion right now. All-Americans, Terrell Pryor, true freshman, gets 1st team All-American. Crazy. That is kind of it for real guys there. 2nd team. Keith Rivers gets it at outside linebacker. Freshman, Terrell Pryor, obviously. Mike Pouncey at Florida State gets it. Marvin Austin at Ohio State. Eric Berry at Georgia as well. Okay, we'll look at some of the stats here. So team stats. Stanford. Oh, no, that's ACC. I always do that. BYU, but Stanford's 2nd in the country in points per game. Michigan up there. Washington, Oregon, Liberty, Utah, USC, Oklahoma, Georgia. Go to defense. Marshall actually had the number 1 defense. UConn, Boise State, Washington, Michigan. Okay, we'll look at some of the season stats now. Oh, yards per game, BYU 364 for Mechie. Cam Newton had a great year, 310, redshirt freshman. He threw a lot of picks. If he can get those picks down, he's going to be in a great spot. Was passing the ball all over the yard. Russell Wilson, really nice year at Notre Dame. 30 touchdowns, 5 picks, 70% completion percentage. Terrell Pryor, we got to look at this guy. First team All-American as a freshman. Almost made the national championship. 41 touchdowns, 8 picks. Also had 782 yards rushing. So this guy was absolutely incredible this year. Just crazy. Okay, rushing, Warren led the country. CJ Spiller just under 1,000. Jonathan Stewart up there as well. Terrell Pryor, he's like top 20 in the country in rushing yards, 52 a game. Receiving, any of our guys? No. None of our guys even got 1,000 yards. Oh, Percy just got over 1,000. 1,000 yards, 19 yards per reception. So when he touched the ball, he was absolutely electric. They just didn't give him the ball enough, but there we go. Defensively, here's the tackle leader. Sacks, like 7 sacks. I really wish they'd up the sacks so guys could just get more. Interceptions, none of our guys really anything crazy. Okay, we are going to advance to National Signing Day, look at the final, we'll look at the transfer portal, see where all the final recruits end up, and then we'll get, going on to the next season. Okay, National Signing Day, we'll look at the transfer portal first. See if it's any of our guys. Nothing yet. Oh, JJ Watt. So JJ Watt leaves Kentucky and goes to Ohio State. That is a huge pickup for Ohio State. Big impact defensive lineman going to join the squad. So we don't have a ton of our guys transferring, but it feels like every year we have at least one kind of big name. I'm surprised we don't see more quarterbacks. Like if they're buried on the depth chart, why not transfer somewhere where you think you're going to play more? Yeah, that's all the quarterbacks. Nothing. This SMU guy goes to Michigan. He looks like he's a decent player, but that's it. Okay, now we're going to look at all prospects here, go through our guys. So we'll go through this quick. So we know Derek Carr going to go to USC. Colorado gets AJ McCarron. For our running backs, Eddie Lacy is going to go to LSU. So instead of Alabama, going to play at LSU. And then Virginia Tech is going to get Trent Richardson. Wide receivers, number 1 receiver ends up at Clemson. So Clemson gets their impact wideout. I really like that fit. TCU ends up with Josh Gordon. I was kind of hoping he'd go to Ohio State, go play with Terrell Pryor, but that works too. Then South Carolina gets their real life prospect in Alshon Jeffrey. Offensive line, we knew most. So Oklahoma gets Taylor Lewan and they get Zach Martin. Nebraska for DJ Fluker. And then the last one, LSU locks up Gabe Jackson. Chance Warmack, I believe, was going to Clemson. Yeah, ends up at Clemson. Then getting into our DNs, Olivier Vernon ends up at Alabama. Sheldon Richardson goes to Ohio State, and they get JJ Watt coming in the door. So they get some big upgrades to their D-line. Then Jarvis Jones goes to Tennessee. D-tackle, Clemson gets Fletcher Cox. And for outside backers, Manti Te'o goes to Oregon. Khalil Mack goes to Alabama. Bobby Wagner goes to Clemson. And then Wisconsin gets Kuechly. Cornerbacks, Mo Claiborne goes to Georgia. Then Dre Kirkpatrick goes to Miami. And lastly, we have Stephon Gilmore, who goes to Stanford. So he's going to go to Stanford and play with Andrew Luck. So that is where we're sitting with recruiting and the transfer portal, guys. I am going to make these prospects, put them on their school, and then we're going to get into our 4th season of this episode. So Texas wins the Natty. Going to make our guys right now. All right, so the recruits are on their teams, and I looked at the next recruiting class. We're ready to get going with the 2011 season. Now, this recruiting class, I would definitely say is not one of the best. I would say it's one of the weaker classes in the whole sim, but it is still decent. There are some good players, so we will go through that now. So starting with quarterback, And our number one quarterback, real life quarterback in this class is going to be Blake Bortles. He went to UCF in real life, got drafted in the top 3 by the Jaguars. Big athletic player. We're going to up his size a little bit. And he's actually looking at some smaller schools, Syracuse, UMass, Rutgers. He's only a 4-star, 74th player in the country. Looking at just kind of the 2 other big time QBs in this class, it's going to be Jason Fielder, field general, 6'6", 218. He's looking Purdue, Louisville, Notre Dame, Duke. We also have this guy, Crease from Alabama, scrambler archetype, looking at Clemson, Georgia, Auburn, Alabama, Stanford. So those are going to be kind of the 2 big guys. And then our real life guy is going to be Blake Bortles. Okay, then our number one running back for real life players is going to be Marcus Lattimore. Now, he played at South Carolina. He was a superstar in college, then ended up blowing out his knee, got drafted in like the 6th round by the 49ers. But before he hurt his knee, he was an absolute stud at South Carolina. So he's going to be a 5-star recruit. Number 29 player in the class. He's looking at Auburn, Georgia, Clemson, Duke, and Liberty. Then we have 2 top 5 backs as well. So pretty good group of running backs in this class overall. Like 2 top 5 players that are running backs. Looking at wide receivers, and the number one wide receiver in the class, our number one real player as well, is going to be Robert Woods. Now, Robert Woods is from California. He played at USC, played for the Bills, Rams, bunch of teams in the NFL, was really good in college. Going to be a route runner archetype, and he's looking at UCLA, Arizona State, Texas Tech, BYU, and Utah. Next up, we have Justin Hunter. Now, Justin Hunter is going to be a 4-star recruit, deep threat archetype, and he played at he played at Tennessee in real life. Really good in college, and he's looking at Miami, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, and Clemson. Next up, we have Keenan Allen. Now, Keenan Allen's going to be a 4-star number 70 player in the country. Now, he was actually a huge recruit coming out of high school. He was going to go to Alabama, but they wanted him to play safety, I believe. He wanted to play wide receiver, so he ended up going to Cal. But he is looking at Purdue, Clemson, Notre Dame, Georgia, and Oklahoma. And then our last receiver is going to be DeAndre Hopkins. Now, D-Hop played at Clemson, one of the best receivers in the NFL over his career, over his time in the league. He's going to be a 5-star 21st player in the country, and his first school is Clemson, just like in real life, in Georgia, Auburn, Tennessee, LSU. Okay, we have no tight ends. Then moving to offensive line, the number one offensive lineman in the class, and he was actually the number one offensive lineman in his real life class, is going to be Centrell Henderson. Now, he went to Miami in real life, big 5-star recruit. He's going to be the 6th player in the class, and he's looking at Texas, Stanford, Penn State, Georgia, and Washington. Then the number 2 tackle in the class is going to be Jake Matthews. Now, he went to Texas A&M, was a top 10 pick by the Falcons in the NFL. Agile archetype, 4-star recruit, 36th player in the class. He's looking at UNC, Michigan, Purdue, Wisconsin, and Oregon. And then the other real life tackle is going to be Luke Jokel. Now, Jokel played at A&M with Jake Matthews, so they played there together. I think he was a 2nd round pick or late 1st round pick in the NFL draft. And he's a 4-star recruit, and he's looking at Clemson, Georgia, Oklahoma, Washington, Stanford. Then moving on to guard, and we have the number 1 guard in the class. He's going to be a 4-star, and it is going to be Brandon Sheriff. Now, Sheriff played at Iowa, was top 10 pick by the Redskins in the NFL. He's looking at Clemson, South Carolina, UNC, Duke, and Wake Forest. Moving on to defensive ends, and we have 2 in the class. So the first one is going to be a 5-star recruit, number 8 player in the country, and that is going to be William Golston. Now, Golston is like 6'7", absolutely huge guy, played at Michigan State. I think he was like a 2nd round pick in the NFL as well. So we'll up this guy's height, but he's going to be a power rusher, and he's looking like he's going to stay up in the north. Golston is from Michigan in real life, so he's looking at Boston College, Penn State, Syracuse, Connecticut, and Michigan. Then the other one is going to be Sharif Floyd. Now, Floyd is more of a D tackle here. This guy's a 6'4", 282 run stopper archetype. He's going to be 6'4". He's going to be a 5-star recruit, 20th player in the country. Now, Sharif is from Pennsylvania, but actually played down at Florida. So this guy's actually looking like he might stay up more north with Ohio State, Virginia, schools like that, but big 5-star recruit for Sharif Floyd. Then moving on to D tackles, and the number 1 D tackle in the class is going to be Aaron Donald. Now, Aaron Donald is from Pennsylvania, played at Pitt. This guy's going to be a 5-star recruit, 7th player, pass rusher, speed rusher archetype on the inside, and he's looking at Wisconsin, Ohio State, Kentucky, Notre Dame, Penn State, so staying around that Pennsylvania area. And then the other one is going to be Dominic Easley. Now, Easley also played at Florida with Sharif Floyd. He's going to be a 4-star recruit, speed rusher archetype, and it looks like he's going to stay down in the South. So Miami, Georgia, Florida, Clemson, and Alabama are his top 5. Moving on to linebackers, and the first one is going to be Vic Beasley. Now, Vic Beasley played at Clemson. He's like a D-end outside linebacker, so he's going to be a power rusher archetype, 5-star recruit. Vic Beasley is from Georgia, but he played at Clemson, and his top 5 schools are going to be Miami, Clemson, Georgia, Florida, and Bama. Then we also have CJ Mosley. Now, Mosley's from Alabama, played at Alabama, still playing in the NFL right now. Really good inside linebacker. He's going to be a run stopper archetype, 5-star recruit, and he's looking at Georgia, Miami, Clemson, Florida, and Alabama. We also have another 5-star, and it is going to be Alec Ogletree. Now, he's from Georgia. He played at Georgia. Got drafted by the Rams in the NFL, and he's a big 5-star, so he's looking at Clemson, Georgia, Miami, Florida, and Alabama. And then lastly, we have one more backer, and it is going to be Anthony Barr. Now, Barr is from the West Coast. He played at UCLA. He's going to be a 4-star recruit. He's actually quite a bit bigger. We're going to make him like 6'4", and he's been a guy who can rush the passer, also drop into coverage, kind of do-it-all player at UCLA and in the NFL. He's looking like he's going to stay on the West Coast with Washington State, Washington, Oregon, UNLV, and Wyoming. Moving on to corners, and we got 3 of them. The first one is going to be D. Milner. Now, he is from the state of Alabama, played at Alabama, was a top 10 pick by the Jets in the NFL draft. 5-star recruit, and he's looking at Clemson, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, and Alabama. Then we have LaMarcus Joyner. He played at Florida State on those kind of that Florida State national championship team. He's like a corner free safety hybrid. So here he's going to be a 4-star recruit slot archetype, and he's looking at Clemson, Georgia, Ohio State, Florida, and Penn State. And then our other corner is going to be Bradley Roby. Now, he played at Ohio State. He is from Georgia, though, and he's going to be a man-to-man archetype, 4-star recruit, looking at Texas, Mizzou, Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Iowa. Then lastly, we got 2 free safeties in the class. So the first one is going to be Tyrann Mathieu. Now, Mathieu is from Louisiana and played at LSU. This guy's going to be a 4-star recruit, 59th in the country, 5'11". We'll probably make him a little bit shorter. And he's looking at Clemson, USC, Oregon, LSU, Washington. So kind of spread all out throughout the country there. And then the last one is going to be a 4-star, 40th player in the country, and it is going to be Eric Reed, who also played at LSU, is also from Louisiana, and he's looking at Georgia, Purdue, Duke, Washington, and Oregon for Eric Reed. So that is where we are sitting with our recruits. Okay, here we are at the start of the season. So 2011 season, we got Stanford, who got second in the national championship. They're the number 1 team. Then Penn State, Texas, 91 overall, Oregon, 88 for Ohio State, 91 Georgia, Purdue, Washington, and Clemson both look like good teams. USC, good team. Michigan, Oklahoma, but I already looked. Frick, I'm so pissed. Tim Tebow and DeMarco Murray left early, so we have none of them at Oklahoma, which sucks. Was really looking forward to watching more of them. Look at the Heisman watch. CJ Spiller on the Heisman watch for Georgia. Okay, we're going to sim to the mid-season point, then we'll look at recruiting, and we'll see how the top 25 is looking. Okay, so mid-season point, week 10, week 9 right now. Let's look at recruiting. So Blake Bortles commits to Virginia. So Virginia gets a good QB, some of the other big-time QBs. So 4-star, this guy's going to Texas, then a big 5-star is going to Clemson, and then Purdue gets like the number 4 player in the country. I kind of want to keep track of where some of those other QBs are kind of going, so we have a bit more of an idea when those guys turn out to be really good. Then we have Marcus Lattimore, and he ends up at Boston College over Auburn and Duke. So both those 2 guys so far have went to smaller schools. Robert Woods, he's still up in the air. He's looking at Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado. For DeAndre Hopkins, he ends up at Clemson, so goes to his real life school. Going to be a really good fit. They get a big 5-star. For Justin Hunter, he ends up at Miami. He picks Miami over Alabama. And then lastly, Keenan Allen is going to go to Notre Dame. So he picks Notre Dame over Purdue. So if he's really good next year, he could play with Russell Wilson for a season. Moving on to offensive linemen, and Central Henderson is going to end up at Penn State. So Penn State over Oregon and Washington, they get the number 1 offensive lineman in the class. Then we have Jake Matthews, and he ends up at Michigan. So no Texas A&M for him. He's going to go to Michigan. They get a big 4-star. And then lastly, our last offensive lineman available is going to be Luke Jokel, 4-star. He's up for grabs. It's looking like Clemson, Purdue, Oregon, Stanford, Washington, all in the race. Okay, moving on to defensive end. And first up, we have Sharif Floyd. Now, he is looking like it's going to be Ohio State almost for sure, so looks like he's going to end up there. Then William Golston is looking like Penn State, Syracuse, Michigan are his top three. Looking like Penn State has the inside track, though. Moving on to D-tackle, and Aaron Donald goes to Penn State, so they could get Aaron Donald and William Golston. They got Centrell Henderson, so Penn State is beefing up their interior D-line and just their both sides of their line. Then we got Dominic Easley, and he is going to go to Alabama. So he picks Bama over Georgia. Then for linebackers, Alec Ogletree, he's still up for grabs. He's looking at Florida State, Miami, and Clemson. It looks like all three of those are very close. Then for Vic Beasley, he's also going to go to Bama. So Bama's getting a few guys here. He picks Bama over Miami. And then CJ Mosley, he is going to go to Florida. So he goes Florida over Auburn and Michigan. Then lastly, we have Anthony Barr. Now, Barr went to UCLA in real life, West Coaster, and he ends up at Oregon. So Oregon's done a really good job recruiting linebackers and defensive players. They get another really good one. Okay, moving on to cornerbacks. The number one corner in the class is going to go to Bama. So they're getting some nice players on defense. Picks Bama over Clemson. Then for Bradley Roby, he is going to go to Texas. So went to Ohio State in real life. 4-star going to go to Texas. And LaMarcus Joyner, 4-star, is going to go to Clemson. So Florida State in real life ends up in Clemson over Ohio State and Georgia. Then for our two safeties, Tyrann Mathieu first, and he's going to go to Stanford. So it was down to Stanford, Oregon, and LSU. He picked Stanford. They got Stephon Gilmore last year at safety, so they'll be safeties together. Plus, they have a young Andrew Luck. Then lastly, we have Eric Reed, and he is going to end up at Washington. So it's either Georgia or Washington, completely different sides of the country. But Eric Reed, that is where he is going to end up. So that is our recruiting. We'll look one more time on National Signing Day. Now we'll look at just how college football is shaking out right now. So Texas Tech, the number one team in the country, along with Stanford. These guys just don't lose, man. They've been really good this whole sim. So Stanford led by Andrew Luck up there. Texas, Georgia, Oregon, Ohio State, Baylor, Auburn, Oklahoma, Michigan, Michigan State, Florida State, 8-0. They are 8-0. How are they 13th in the country? They play in the ACC. It's not like they're in a shitty conference. So I'm happy to see that. I really want to see Cam Newton. So I'm hoping they make the playoff. Minnesota, Colorado, Washington, Heisman watch. Golden Tate leading the Heisman race. Okay, and then Cam Newton in fourth. So Cam and Golding having really nice years. Cam is just on a freaking different planet. 230 QB rating. He's having like the best season I've ever seen in this. 82% completion percentage. He's running for, he's averaging 27 rush yards a game, so he's not running an absolute ton, but there's Russell Wilson. So I kind of missed. Russell's at 270 a game, 22 touchdowns, 5 picks. Really nice year, but Cam Newton is absolutely on a different planet right now. And if you look at attempts, guys who are actually and look at Andrew Luck, 27 touchdowns, 1 pick as a redshirt freshman first-year starter. Not throwing the ball quite as much, but when he is absolutely dicing people. Wow, so we got some QBs playing really well right now. Running the ball here, LaShawn McCoy, pretty high up there on the list. Mark Ingram at Bama, 448. Playing well. Receiving, Golden Tate, second in the country. I don't even know how he's starting right now. They must have had some injuries because he was like their 4th receiver, but he's averaging 121 yards per game, 13 touchdowns. Also a receiver playing with Cam is obviously killing it as well. Not sure we'll have another guy super high up there for real, guys. Mario Manningham, 630. So he's having a good year, but okay, we'll do a deeper dive obviously after the season is over. But yeah, I'm just shocked. Like Cam Newton is just playing like even better than real life Cam Newton, which is pretty freaking hard to do. Okay, so we're going to keep simming here, and then we'll look if there's any good conference championship games. If not, we'll just get into the playoff. Okay, looking at conference championships here. So we got Baylor, Texas Tech, South Carolina, who's the number one team in the country, versus Georgia. Okay, we're going to sim through this first week, and we'll get into the second round. We'll see what our second round matchups look like. Cam Newton wins the Heisman. already 51 touchdowns. He's probably, if he advances, he's going to probably end up with over 60 touchdowns this year. Cam Newton, the freak show, wins the Heisman. Okay, let's look at the bracket. So Michigan beats Washington, Texas beats Baylor, Stanford beats Charlotte, South Carolina beats North Carolina. So we got Stanford, Georgia. That's a great game. Florida State, South Carolina, Texas Tech, Texas, Ohio State, Michigan. Wow, Ohio State, Michigan. That is cool. That is honestly really tempting to watch. You know what? Let's watch that. I want to see Terrell Pryor again. We'll watch Ohio State, Michigan. Then we'll probably sim to the final and just see who's in the final. So Ohio State should be the big favorite here, but hey, Michigan would love nothing more than to beat Ohio State. And hey, it's only an 86 versus an 87. So it's not like Ohio State's way better on paper. Okay, so here we go. We are going to sim through the first quarter here. Hopefully it's not a blowout. 0-0, 3-0 Ohio State, 6-0 Ohio State. That is where we sit. 3rd and 2 Michigan. Let's see. We'll watch here. So Wolverines football. It's weird they're playing in the Orange Bowl. Just seeing Ohio State, Michigan, they're playing in Miami. That's just like a weird look. Oh, up over the top. Nice throw there on 3rd down. Only has 44 yards passing so far, but Michigan driving here, trying to actually take a 1-point lead. 2nd and 8, 3rd and 5 from the 12. We'll watch here. Wolverines football. Trips to the bottom. What do we got? Motion across. Drops back, deep drop, up over the top. That's going to be a touchdown. Touchdown, Wolverines. They take a 1-point lead. Let's see if Terrell Pryor can get his offense going a little bit here with some touchdowns. So, TP starting 2nd and 13, 3rd and 6. Let's watch from here. Here's Pryor in at shotgun. 2x2. Pryor drops back, stands tall, fires up over the top, and just misses. That was just a straight up miss there. Definitely want to convert that. That is a tough ball there. Michigan football, 1st and 15, 2nd and 13. They pick it up with a big pass, 22 yards, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 4. What do we got here? Wolverines, 3rd and 4. Maybe field goal range here would be a long field goal for a college kicker. So want to get a first down here if you're Michigan, get at least some points. Pressure. Oh, he has to throw it away. That's lucky. That's not intentional grounding. 4th and 4. I would imagine they might actually go for this. They punt for a touchback, so they gain about 14 yards on the play. Incomplete. 3rd and 5 here. Let's see if our guy TP can get it going here. Terrell Pryor, 2x2 again, 3rd and 5. Ohio State's offense has been struggling a little bit today. Slant over the middle, just right into the linebacker. Gets absolutely blasted and just quick 3 and out again for Ohio State. So we're not seeing Terrell Pryor really take off here. 3rd and 3. Michigan's going to have to punt though. So Ohio State, another shot, 35-yard run. Then a nice pass, 9-yard reception. That run might have sparked them. And then they score 17-yard touchdown Pryor to McNitt. And Ohio State jumps back out in front. 1st and 10 Michigan, 3rd and 10. So on their own 25, all of a sudden you're Michigan. You do not want to punt this football. Ohio State finally got their offense rolling. You want to keep this ball, not let them keep it coming. Pass rush underneath, broken tackle. Their tight end breaks a tackle underneath. That is such a huge play. That would have been a 3 and out. Instead, it's a first down at the 37. You keep the chains moving. 2nd and 6, first down, 2nd and 4, 3rd and inches. Let's watch here. Can they convert on 3rd and inches? This is probably 4 down territory if you don't lose a bunch of yards here, I'd imagine. I'm going to hand it off. They're going to pick it up. Oh, interception. So Ohio State picks off Michigan. They're going the other way with the ball. 3rd and 10 now. Let's see. So Pryor in at shotgun, trips to the top. Need a conversion here. You want to get some more points. Up over the top. That's a touchdown. Wow. The corner got caught looking. I think that was Vontae Davis maybe. Got caught inside looking, and Ohio State goes over the top. He hits him with the Heisman pose. Terrell Pryor, kind of a slow start, has led back-to-back really nice drives. Hits Alex Cager up in that hole, just beats his man off the line, and the Michigan corner had no shot. Once you get beat like that, you're in trouble. Pryor does not miss that one. It is 20-7 Ohio State. 2nd and 10 Michigan, 3rd and 6. They're going to have to punt again. Ohio State has a chance to even get some more points here possibly. It's 3rd and 7 though. With 35 seconds left, Ohio State does have 2 timeouts. So they're a big play away from possibly going to try to, make something happen here before the half. Okay, Pryor what do you got? Last time we seen you hit a big play. Pick six. Oh my gosh, he tries to throw that little out route. Oh, he tackled. No, he breaks the tackle. Insult to injury. Throws Pryor down as he rolls into the end zone. That is not good for Pryor. All of a sudden, it's 20-14 going into the half. Okay, so Michigan looked like they might be in trouble. Instead, they flipped the game right there. Okay, we're going to go to the fourth quarter. Okay, 26-23, 26-25, as close as it can get right now. 3rd and 2, Ohio State from their own 31. Let's see what Pryor's got. They're in pistol here. Pryor, run a little power, and great job by Michigan. Oh, that was 1st and 10. I thought that was 3rd down. So 2nd and 8, pick up the first down. Oh, that's a penalty on the defense. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4. Okay, we'll watch here. 3rd and 4 from the 37. This might be 4-down territory too. I would not be punting from here. Probably too long for a field goal unless you take a sack or something. Pryor, quick little out route, picks up that 1st down. So Pryor trying to bounce back after that horrible pick 6 at 10.5. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 6, 4th and 3. I'm thinking they're going to go for this, so I'm going to watch. No, they're going to kick the field goal. So go up 4. I guess that makes sense. You're going to go up, force them to even score a touchdown to get ahead of you. So that does actually make sense for Ohio State. Up and good. Okay, if Michigan driving, they're going to have to punt here. Ohio State driving. Interception. Michigan picks them off. They're down inside the 9-yard line. So Terrell Pryor has thrown 2 bad picks in this one to keep Michigan in it. Michigan can actually take a lead here. They're going to run it off tackle. Nice tackle there on the edge for Ohio State. 3rd and goal from the 5. We'll watch here. I mean, a field goal gets you down 1. Do you want to be down 1, or would you rather just go for the jugular here if you're Michigan? I probably would go for it on 4th down. Up over the top, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, just sits down in the zone, finds the soft spot. Michigan takes the lead. Terrell Pryor has thrown 2 interceptions that have been absolute backbreakers. Down to 3rd and 3 right here. Pryor, what do you got? You better not throw another pick, I'll tell you that. Motion, gonna run jet touch pass, cuts it right up the middle there. He's got a 1st down and more. He's gone. Breaks a couple tackles, kind of gets lost in the shuffle, and he is gone for the score. He was just trying to pick up the 1st down and just kind of gets lost and is absolutely off to the races. 61 yards. So now Michigan has to respond. Back down 4 here. 4 minutes left. 1st and 10, 2nd and 8. 1st and 10, 2nd and 10. 1st and 10. 1st and 10. 2nd and 6. 3rd and 5 from the 10. So Michigan is just answering every bell here. Trips to or bunch to the top. Drops back. Has a drag underneath. He's going to check it down. That's a 1st down. Michigan. Man, this is a game. Going to jump ahead here. 1st and goal from the 3. 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal from the 3. Okay, we're going to watch now. I thought they were just going to punch that. Here we go. Got to be obviously 4-down territory. Here it is. What do you got? 3rd and goal. What's your play call? They're going to motion to empty, drop back, try to just find a soft spot in the zone. That could be picked. Great knockout. Obviously 4-down territory. We're going to watch this 4th down. Game's not over even if they don't convert. Ohio State's going to be backed so far up that, Michigan has all 3 timeouts. Let's see though. Michigan drops back. Just going to have to roll out. Pressure. Wow. And that's a fumble. That's a fumble, and they pick it up. So now they're not even on their own goal line. That is such a big play for Ohio State. 2nd and 3, 3rd and 1. They pick it up for 2nd and 11, and that's going to be ball game. 34-yard rush, and Ohio State holds on. They have a goal line stand to beat Big Blue. The best rivalry in college football. Terrell Pryor made some mistakes, but he's still a stud. Made the plays when they needed him, and Ohio State wins the Orange Bowl. Going to advance to the semifinal. So Pryor, not his best day. 247 through 2 really bad picks. Michigan's QB, he did have a pick. He honestly played pretty freaking good though. Is a senior, so that's going to be his last game. Ohio State, they didn't even use Pryor in the run game, but it is what it is. They get it done. Okay, semifinal. Let's see who advanced. So we are going to have Georgia. So Florida State goes down to South Carolina. Stanford goes down to Georgia. Texas goes down to Texas Tech. So we are going to advance weeks We're going to go right to the final here. Kind of pissed that both Cam Newton and Andrew Luck got knocked out there. So I'm hoping Ohio State wins. I just want to see Pryor. I like watching like the real life QBs. Okay, here it is. Final. Texas Tech beats Ohio State. So we're going to have Georgia, Texas Tech. And Georgia has not won a national championship yet in the Sims. So they're trying to get it done. They're 90 overall compared to an 86. This should be a Georgia win, but got to play the game. So we're going to go through the first quarter. Georgia 7-0, 7-6, 9-7 Tech. Okay, 14-9. Okay, I'm going to go till just halftime and then we'll see where we're at. 14-9 Georgia. See, okay, we got a game. 21-16, 28-16, 28-23. So Texas Tech 28-26. So they are not going away. So we'll start watching here a little bit in the third quarter. -3, 3rd and 9. They punt. Georgia. 87-yard touchdown. Wow. That is a huge play. They go up 9 here. Okay, can Tech answer? 1st and 10, 3rd and 8, 1st and 10, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 5. We'll watch this play. So Tech in the all blacks, looking pretty crispy actually. I like those. And they're in 3rd and 5, down 9. Need to get something going here. Fires it into their tight end. Nice little out route there. Gets open in along the sideline. Nice play. 2nd and 5, 3rd and 3 here. Watch again with Tech. 3rd and 3, down 9. They've been keeping up with Georgia this whole time, though. Let's see if they can keep it going. They are in field goal range. Those throws scare me. We've seen quite a few pick sixes through this sim when guys trying to throw across their body to the far side of the field. They do convert there, though. 2nd and 13, 3rd and 8, 4th and 4, and they kick the field goal. Okay, Georgia football, 3rd and 5, 1st and 10, 2nd and 6, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. They punt. Wow, they punt that football on 4th and 1 on like the 40. Tech driving here, and they get a huge run, 36 yards, 2nd and 8, end of the third quarter. Texas Tech on the 1-yard line. We're going to watch here. So they actually have a chance to go take the lead right here over the Dogs. Texas Tech, I form. What do you got for me here? They're going to hand this ball off. Oh, down to the 1, and they get stopped. Great play there. We're going to watch 3rd and goal now. Here we go. Tech handoff. Oh my gosh, great job by Georgia. Their front dominated there. I'm assuming Texas Tech, that's a long one to go for on 4th down. They go for it on 4th down and they get stuffed. Wow, what a job by Georgia. 3rd and 5, they pick it up. 2nd and 8, 3rd and 7. Watch Georgia here. Obviously, it's not over. Texas Tech's still in it. 7:45 left. They just need to stop, get off the field. QB in for Georgia right here. Let's see what he's got. Drops back. He's going to try to tuck and run. Wow, what a play. Oh, he drops it or kind of got knocked out, but that was actually a great play. Kind of pulled it down like he was going to run. Fires it down the field. Not able to convert though. Okay, 41-yard punt. Nice return on that one though. 6-yard rush, 3rd and 2. And there's a touchdown. 25-yard touchdown run. Texas Tech has a 1-point lead with 6:34 left over the Dogs. 13-yard reception. 2nd and 9, 3rd and 15. Big sack right there. Georgia. It is go time. You got CJ Spiller beside you. Are you going to use him? They're going to set up a screen to CJ. CJ out and running. Going to be short though. CJ cannot convert. Okay, Texas Tech can put it away right here. You need that 4-minute drive where you just eat up a lot of clock, but it's 3rd and 8 already. 3rd and 8, 2 by 2. Gonna run draw. Hate that call. That's such coward shit. I would never call a draw on 3rd and 8. I hate it. Okay, there it is. So you give the ball back to Georgia now. They start off with a 13-yard reception, 4-yard run, 3rd and 3. They convert 1st and 10 down to the 17, 18-yard rush, 2nd and 8, 3rd and 4. Obviously a field goal you'll take if you're Georgia. Like going up 2 right here, it would be nice, but you want a touchdown. King, fires a little hitch, breaks tackle, and you're in. He's down at the 1. Down at the 1. Georgia has a chance to take a very late lead here. And they punch it next play. So they are going to be up. Here we go. So they are up 5. Texas Tech ball, 15-yard reception. Incomplete. Interception. Georgia picks them off. 2nd and 8, 2-yard rush, 3rd and 6 from the 41. This is it for Texas Tech. They need to stop him here, force a punt. You can't give up a point, field goal. You just got to get him off the field. Here's Georgia. Fires. He's going up over the top. That's a touchdown. That is going to be the winner. Wow, what a throw on third down to go up over the top like that. Georgia playing with no fear, and that is going to get it done. Texas Tech won't be able to come back from that. They do get a late score, but that is it. Georgia wins the 2011 national championship. That is their first national championship of the sim, and they get it done. So we've had Oregon, Auburn, Texas, and Georgia over the 4 years of this episode. First episode, it was Clemson, Ohio State, Stanford, Penn State, Wisconsin. So we have not had a repeat champion at all. It has been a new team every year, which is kind of cool. Still mostly blue bloods. The only one who you'd even consider, not blue bloods, but the only one who you'd even consider, like Stanford is kind of, not one of the top teams. Even Wisconsin, but I mean, Clemson, Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, Auburn, Texas, Georgia. I think all those teams would have won a national championship at some point, or Oregon's made national championships. Texas obviously has won one. Georgia, Auburn won one. Penn State, they probably have won one, maybe in like the 70s or something. I'm not sure. Clemson, Ohio State have all won one. So in real life. So that's where we sit, guys. The dogs get it done. There we go. Okay, so end of the season here. We're going to look at the final top 25. Georgia, national champs. Texas Tech, Washington, Ohio State, Texas, Charlotte, South Carolina, Florida State, Michigan, UNC, Oregon 10-3, Stanford 12-3, Liberty, Utah, Vautech, Akron, Wisconsin, UAB, LSU, NC State, and Oklahoma. So that is where we're sitting. Saw the Heisman. Finally, we get it right. We get Cam Newton, but Cam did win the Heisman, even though now technically Terrell Pryor's ahead of him, but kind of silly, but that's fine. All-Americans. Cam should be first team All-American, as well as Golden Tate makes it. Second team, Gerald McCoy at D-tackle, Kenny Phillips at safety. Freshman, nothing really major going on. Freshman All-American. Look at team stats here. Florida State, number one offense. Georgia, Ohio State, Stanford were the top four. Clemson, Texas Tech up there as well. Defensively, Oregon's just had a good defense every freaking year, man. Oregon, Utah, Charlotte, Washington. We need to see Oregon go on a run. They're recruiting really well. They've had some really good teams, but I don't even know if they made the playoffs this year. Cam, 339 a game, so he came down a little bit. He was up at 338. This Lewis Stevens had a really good career. This guy put up some stats. His actually freshman year was his best year on paper, but yeah, 4,800 yards, 4,000 was his ceiling. He actually got a little bit worse as he went on, but he was just a really good quarterback for Clemson over the 4 years. Cam, right there. Who else do we got? We got Terrell Pryor, 287 a game. Russell Wilson, 270 a game. Had a good season. He'll be hopefully back next year for his senior year. Andrew Luck right there, 48 touchdowns, 11 picks. I'm really excited to see him next year. Only one. I really wish they would up the rushing. We have one guy get over 1,000 yards in all of college football. They really got to address that a little bit. I think in the sliders. I don't know if I can do that. I don't know. It's something I'm going to have to look into a little bit. But yeah, LaShawn McCoy, 788, nice year. But yeah, these running backs just don't get the ball enough. Mark Ingram at Alabama to have huge impacts. Golden Tate, 5th in receiving yards in the country. Defensively, there's our tackles, sacks, and especially how much guys are passing. I feel like the sack numbers should be higher, and even the interceptions. We should have more guys in the 5, 6, 7 interception range. There we go. Okay, so actually let's look at the transfer portal first. So we'll see if you guys go to Stanford, they get a couple of 4-star transfers in. Let's see if we have any. Usually it's like 1 or 2, but it looks like this year we might not have any of our guys. Let's look at QBs just to double check. Yeah, nothing. Evan Beach leaves Liberty to go to Clemson, but yeah, I wish there was a little bit more going on with the transfer portal as well. But I feel like they will do updates to the engine and hopefully just change some of that stuff. Okay, now getting into our recruits here though. So Blake Bortles, we already know he is going to Virginia. Running back, we know Lattimore is going to Boston College. Wide receivers, Arizona State for Robert Woods, Clemson for Hopkins, Miami for Justin Hunter, and then Notre Dame for Keenan Allen. O-tackle, Penn State for Central Henderson. Jake Matthews going to go to Michigan, and then the other one was Luke Jokel, and he is going to end up at Stanford. So nice pickup there for Stanford. Guard, okay, Charlotte picks up Brandon Sheriff, the #1 guard in the country. Defensive ends, William Golston is going to end up at Penn State, which we knew. Sharif Floyd is going to end up at Ohio State. Aaron Donald going to end up at Penn State. And then Easley is going to end up at Alabama. Alec Ogletree is going to end up at Miami, big 5-star backer. Vic Beasley going to Alabama. And then lastly, for outside linebacker, CJ Mosley is going to go to Florida. Then Anthony Barr, we already know, is going to go to Oregon, so they lock him in. Cornerbacks, D. Milner, going to go to Alabama, his real life school. Bradley Roby, going to go to Texas, 4-star recruit for them. And then Lamarcus Joyner, going to go to Clemson. Then our two safeties, free safety Tyrann Matthew, Stanford. And then Washington is going to get Eric Reed. So that is it, guys. That is where we're going to end this season. I will just put these guys on, and then we're in our 5th season. So this is going to be the last season coming up of this episode. We're still going to have 2 more episodes for this whole series coming up as well. So Georgia coming off a national championship, trying to defend their title, and we'll get right into it. All right. So we are at the start of the 2012 season. Georgia is coming off a national championship, and we're just going to get right into this recruiting class. So this recruiting class, the 2011 class, is very good. One of the best classes, ton of really interesting, fun players. And starting with the quarterbacks, and we have 4 of them. And first up, we have Johnny Manziel. Now, everyone knows who Johnny Football is. He's going to be a scrambler archetype here. He's going to be a 5-star recruit, 25th player in the whole country. Obviously, Johnny played at Texas A&M, won a Heisman Trophy. He is looking at Texas, Oklahoma, Texas Tech, Texas A&M, and LSU. So all kind of around that area. Looks like he might stay in the state. Next up, we have Marcus Mariota. Now, Mariota is from Hawaii, played at Oregon, so kind of a West Coast guy. Obviously, it's hard to find a 5-star quarterback recruit from Hawaii, but this guy is from California, so West Coast. Going to be a scrambler archetype, 5-star recruit. Him and Johnny right there, 1 and 2 in the class, and he's going to be looking at Clemson, Texas, Oregon, LSU, and USC. Next up, we have Braxton Miller. Now, Braxton Miller is from the state of Ohio, played at Ohio State. He kind of a quarterback receiver hybrid, played receiver in the NFL for a few years as well. He's going to be a scrambler archetype, 4-star recruit, and he's going to be looking at Michigan, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Purdue, and Iowa. Then the last quarterback is going to be Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Two Gloves. Now, he is from the state of Florida, played at Louisville, had a really long NFL career. I think he was like the 32nd pick in the first round by the Vikings. He's going to be a 4-star recruit, 100th player in the class, and he's looking at LSU, Ole Miss, Washington, Oregon, and Stanford. Okay, moving on to running backs, and we have 3 in this class, and the number 1 is going to be Melvin Gordon. Now, he's going to be a 5-star recruit. Gordon is from Wisconsin, played at Wisconsin. He's going to be an elusive back archetype, 5-star recruit, and he's looking at Notre Dame, Penn State, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Tulane. So kind of staying in that Big Ten area. Next up, we have Devontae Freeman, who is a 4-star recruit in this. Now, Devontae played at Florida State in real life. He's from the state of Florida, like a 2nd, 3rd round pick, I think, by the Atlanta Falcons. Had a nice career at Florida State, and he's going to be a 4-star recruit, and he's looking at Georgia, Tennessee, Cincinnati, Clemson, and Georgia Tech. Then last up, we have DeAnthony Thomas. Now, in real life, DeAnthony Thomas was a 5-star, big-time recruit out of LA. A lot of people thought he was going to go to USC. He ended up going to Oregon and having a great college career. One of the more exciting players we've seen in the last 15, 20 years in college football. Kind of a receiver running back hybrid. So this guy is going to be an athlete playing running back, though, elusive back archetype, 4-star recruit. And he's looking at Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, and Ohio State. Then we're moving on to the wide receivers, and this is probably the best wide receiver class we are going to have over the whole sim. So we have 6 wide receivers in it, and they are all really good players, all good in college, all good in the NFL as well. So the first one is going to be Mike Evans. Now, Evans is from Texas and played at Texas A&M, played with Johnny Manziel. He's going to be a 5-star recruit, fourth player in the whole country, going to be a physical archetype, very similar to how Mike Evans is. And he is looking at LSU, Ole Miss, Auburn, Florida State, and Wake Forest. Next up, we have Davante Adams. Now, Adams was not a big-time recruit coming out of high school. He ended up at Fresno State, played with Derek Carr there, was really good, was a second-round pick by the Packers, but was not well known out of high school. But here, he's going to be a five-star recruit, sixth player in the whole country, route runner archetype. We know Davante's such a good route runner. We're going to up his height. He's like 6'1", and he's actually looking like he's going to stay, or he's going to play around the Midwest. So he's looking at Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, and Notre Dame. Next up, we have Sammy Watkins. Now, Watkins was a superstar with the Clemson Tigers, kind of just right when Clemson was starting to get really, really good. He was one of their superstars one of the first superstars they had. He's going to be a deep threat archetype. He was great on screens, anything like that. Was like a top 10 pick by the Bills in the NFL draft. He's going to be a five-star recruit, 18th player in the country. And his first school, just like in real life, is Clemson, then Penn State, Oklahoma, Alabama, and LSU. Then next up, we have Odell Beckham Jr. Now, Odell played at LSU. He's going to be a route runner archetype here. Was really good at LSU. Was a first-round pick in the NFL draft. Obviously, a superstar in the NFL. He's going to be a route runner archetype, four-star recruit, 55th player in the whole country. And he's going to be looking at Georgia, Clemson, Alabama, UAB, and UNC. Okay, then next up, we have Brandon Cooks. Now, Brandon Cooks played at Oregon State. Deep threat receiver here. You know, Brandon Cooks was really good at Oregon State, Rams, played with a bunch of teams in the NFL, super fast, athletic. Going to be a big-time recruit here. He's going to be a four-star. UAB is after a bunch of these guys. UAB is his number one school. Then Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and UNC for Brandon Cooks. Then our last receiver is going to be Jarvis Landry. Now, Landry was LSU teammate with Odell Beckham. Nice career with the Dolphins, Browns in the NFL, but was really good in college. Going to be a route runner archetype, four-star recruit. He's looking at LSU, where he went in real life. Then Bama, Mississippi State. UAB is in on all these receivers, and Texas. So that is the receiver class. Very, very good. Okay, moving on to tight end, and we have one tight end in this class, and it is going to be Austin Seferian-Jenkins. Now, he was a big time recruit. He ended up going to Washington in real life, but he had schools all around the country. I think he was close to going to Alabama. Four-star recruit, 33rd player in the country, and he's looking at Akron, Iowa State, Ohio State, West Virginia as his top schools. Okay, moving on to offensive line, and we have three offensive tackles in this class. So the first one is going to be Lael Collins. Now, Collins played at LSU. He's from Louisiana. You know, really good in college. Lots of people thought he was going to be like a first-round pick. He had some weird off the field stuff come up right before the draft, got taken in by the Cowboys, I think late, but very good at LSU. Going to be a five-star recruit, seventh player in the country, power archetype, and his first school is LSU, then Alabama, Texas, TCU, and Georgia. Next up, we have Sirius Kuangio. I'm not going to pronounce that name anymore. I'm just going to call him Sirius, or Cyrus. He played at Bama, big-time player at Bama. Got drafted in the NFL, really good career there. He's going to be a five-star recruit, 22nd player in the whole country, and he's looking at Georgia, Clemson, LSU, Ohio State, and Michigan. Then lastly, we have Greg Robinson. Now, Robinson played at Auburn, and then he became the second or first overall pick by the Rams in the NFL draft. Absolute freak athlete. He's going to be a four-star recruit in this pass protector archetype. He's probably more a bit of a run blocker, but that's all right. And he's going to be looking at Texas, TCU, Tulsa, SMU, and Oklahoma. Okay, getting into D ends, we have no interior alignment for this, and the first D end is going to be Stephon Tuitt. Now, Tuitt played at Notre Dame, but he's actually from the state of Georgia. This guy's going to be a five-star power rusher archetype, just like Tuitt. Tuitt's kind of an inside-outside guy, can play D tackle, can play D end. We're up his weight even a little bit. I think he's about 280. And his first school is going to be Georgia, then LSU, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Auburn. Then moving on to D tackle, and we have one, and it is going to be Timmy Jernigan. Now, Jernigan was kind of an inside pass rusher type at Florida State, classic kind of three-tech inside pass rusher. This guy's going to be a 5-star speed rusher archetype, and he's looking actually like he's going to stay more in the middle of the country. He's looking at Nebraska, Colorado, Minnesota, Kansas State, and Iowa. Okay, then getting into our outside linebacker. And I was trying to find the best player to kind of fit up with this guy, and this is going to be Jadeveon Clowney. Now, Clowney was more of a true defensive end, but this guy is a power rusher archetype, 5-star recruit, number 2 player in the country, around the similar area of the country as well. And we're going to up his size. He's going to be 6'5", about 265 pounds. Now, in real life, Clowney is one of the best high school prospects of all time. This guy's a 5-star, number 2 player in the country, so good chance he's going to turn out to be really, really good. His number 1 school is Georgia, then Bama, Auburn, Clemson, and Ohio State. And in real life, he played at South Carolina State at his home state school. Then our only kind of off-ball linebacker in this class is going to be Ryan Shazier. Here he's going to be an outside linebacker, can move him inside to middle linebacker, but he's going to be an off-ball backer. He's going to be a 5-star recruit. Now, Shazier is from Florida, but he actually played at Ohio State. Pass coverage archetype. He's super athletic, can run, hit, do all that stuff, was really good in college. And he's going to be looking at Miami, Florida State, Georgia, South Carolina, and Wake Forest. Then moving on to corners, and we have 1 corner in this class, and it is going to be Marcus Peters. Now, Peters played at Washington, but he's actually from Oakland, California. That is where this guy is from. Zone archetype. Marcus Peters, absolute ball hawk in college at UW. Ball hawk in the NFL, got a ton of picks. 5-star recruit. This guy's going to be a major player, and he's looking at Washington, Oregon, Stanford. So staying on the West Coast with those teams, or possibly going to Georgia or Ohio State. Then we have 2 safeties in this class. The first one is going to be the number 5 player in the whole class, a 5-star, and it's going to be Clinton Dix. Now, Clinton Dix is from Florida, but he played at Alabama in real life, got drafted by the Packers, I think in the 1st or 2nd round, had a nice NFL career, really, really good in college though. And he's going to be a run support archetype as a free safety. And he's looking at Clemson, Georgia, Miami, Florida State, and Florida. Then our last safety is going to be a strong safety, but he's probably a bit more of a free safety, but that's fine. And it's going to be Quandre Diggs. Now, Diggs here is going to be a 5-star recruit out of Texas. He's from Texas in real life and played at the University of Texas. Here he's looking at Texas A&M, Houston, Texas, Baylor, and North Texas. So it looks like he wants to stay in state. So that is the class, guys. Overall, I think that is a really good class. Super fun. Lots of good players. Really excited to see where all those guys end up. So now we're just going to get into the start of the season here. Okay, going to start with the top 25. So Georgia, number 1 team in the country, defending national champs, makes sense. They're 90 overall. Texas, 87. Ohio State, 87. Washington, 89. 91 for Oregon. So that's the highest overall we've seen. 89 for Stanford and Andrew Luck. Florida State, only an 85, but they do have Cam Newton. So hopefully Cam can carry them. Ohio State has Terrell Pryor as well. Michigan, 89. Wisconsin, 88. Oklahoma, 87. 90 for Miami. So Miami's a 90 overall. They definitely could be really good. Okay, Heisman watch here. Bunch of running backs, receivers. We'll see at the end of the year. Cam Newton won it last year, so I'd like to see the QBs keep it rolling just because it's a little more realistic. Unless some receiver has like 1,800 yards, something insane like that. Okay, we're going to look at some of the rosters here. So Bama, who is their starting quarterback? Okay, so it's not going to be Blaine Gabbert again, I don't think. I think it's going to be this Loudermilk guy. So fortunately, not going to see Gabbert. They do have Mark Ingram, a junior, 88 running back. They got Patrick Peterson, Courtney Upshaw. They got Blaine Gabbert. They got D. Milner coming in as a freshman, 80 overall as a freshman, really good. Vic Beasley as well. So they've got quite a few of our real-life recruits over the last few years. Auburn, I don't think they really have any of our guys right now. They do look like a pretty good team. Clemson, Golden Tate, best player on the team right now. They have a couple of nice running backs. They got Bobby Wagner, redshirt freshman Bobby Wagner, and he's up to an 89 overall. So Wagner looks like he's going to be an absolute stud there. Same with Chance Warmack. Warmack, redshirt freshman, 89 overall. So they got a couple of young studs right there. I know they have a few more guys as well. Oh, right. The other big one was Tavon Austin. So redshirt freshman. He was like the number 3 player in the class. Looks like, I was looking at their receiver depth chart. So they have some older guys this year, but next year it'll be Tavon Austin. They have DeAndre Hopkins as well. And they'll have Golden Tate probably as their top 3 receivers next year. So that'll be kind of cool to see. Looking at Florida State, they got Pouncey. Really good player for them. Look at their receiving. Wow. So their offense should be incredible. They got Cam Newton, who absolutely killed it last year. Probably the best season we've seen anyone have in the whole sim. They have a 91 running back. Looks like a really good player. They have a 94, 93, 91 receiver. All of them 96 speed or above. This guy has 99 speed. Absolutely crazy. They have 289s there as well. This guy's only a sophomore. Tight end, pretty good. And they looked like they had a ton of good offensive line. Oh my God, look at their guards. This offense is absolutely stacked. They should put up insane numbers this year. I don't know how they're 85 overall in offense. That offense is one of the best offenses we've ever seen. Looking at Georgia, some guards. Eric Berry at free safety up to a 93 overall. I don't know if they've actually been getting as many of our guys the last few years. And unfortunately, guys have been getting cut from their teams. Yeah, they have no one else except Eric Berry right now. LSU, not a great, they have no 90s. They have Von Miller at an 89. They got the other Pouncey twin. They got Tyron Smith. They got Trent Williams. They got Eddie Lacy at running back. How close is he to playing? So he's their second string running back right now. So he'll hopefully get some time. But yeah, LSU looks decent, not great. Marshall, this is a team to keep our eye on. I'd like to see them go on a run. They have Robert Griffin III as their starting quarterback. He's got quite a few abilities, 91 speed. So if we do see Marshall go on a run, it would be kind of cool to see them in the playoff with RG3. Miami, man, 296s, 95, 94. They got Marcel Darius at D tackle, 89. Daquan Bowers, redshirt sophomore, up to an 88. So really good there. Drake Kirkpatrick, redshirt, freshman corner, up to an 86. Alec Ogletree, true freshman with the coaching upgrades and stuff. He's up to an 84 as a true freshman. That is cracked. That is really, really good. They got Justin Hunter coming in as a wide receiver, so definitely going to have to keep our eye on Miami. They have a lot of our guys on them. Michigan, I don't know if they have much. Yeah, I think they've got someone recently. Jake Matthews at tackle. That's about it. Nebraska, they have Travis Kelce Jr. up to a 91, so they have one of the best tight ends in the country, so we'll keep our eye on that. Notre Dame, you never know. They got a really good running back, some good offensive line, nice tight end, and they do have Russell Wilson in his senior year. So we'll see what Russell Wilson can do for Notre Dame. 5-star, ended up having a really nice career there at Notre Dame. I'd like to see them go on a playoff run this year. Getting into Ohio State, some really good players at the top of the roster, good receiver, good tight end, some O-linemen, not more O-linemen, middle linebacker, and then they got Marvin Austin on the D-line, and they have Terrell Pryor. And Pryor was incredible as a freshman, was really good as a sophomore, but not quite as good as a freshman. So we will see. His stats are nuts. 94 speed, 99 agility, 99 change of direction, ball carrier vision. What's his throwing? Throw power is 92. His accuracy is not bad. So, he is a just superstar, super stud. They also have Janoris Jenkins at corner. They got J.J. Watt at T tackle. Kellen Moore is their backup QB. They got Sharif Floyd on the D line. So yeah, definitely Ohio State has a ton of our dudes on them. Oklahoma, they've been killing it on the O-line. They have Wisniewski. And I think they got some young O-linemen, unless they cut them, which would be absolutely so annoying. They might have cut those guys. Who did they get? Didn't they get Taylor Lewan and stuff? Man, the cutting guys is driving me a little crazy, but there's literally nothing I can do about it. Oregon, one of the best teams in the country. Nice QB. They got Everson Griffin on D-line. They got Manti Te'o at linebacker. They got Anthony Barr, freshman linebacker as well. So some talent on the defensive side of the ball. Penn State, I don't know if they really have much. They have Harrison Smith. Tennessee really hasn't been getting any of our guys. Texas, I don't think they have a decent roster, but have not really our guys on it. LaMichael James, sophomore running back. How close is he to starting? He's going to be their starter. So get to see some LaMichael James at Texas. USC, we're going to keep our eye on them. I like to track the teams with the quarterbacks just because it's really fun. They have a 99 overall. You do not see many 99s in this game. But they are starting redshirt freshman Derek Carr. So Derek Carr going to be the starter for them. He was a 4-star recruit, 5-star recruit, star development traits, really good abilities. So, USC could have a keeper at QB that we could watch for quite a few years. We got Washington. Good roster. Not a lot of our guys, but definitely. Oh, Justin Blackman at wide receiver. Is he one of their starters? He is. He's going to be their third receiver. And they have a good QB thrown to him. So we actually forgot one team. I want to look at Wisconsin quickly. They have Cam Hayward on the D line, who's a stud. Do they have any of those receivers left? Oh, they got young Julio Jones. I forgot Julio went there. I knew they had some receivers. So Julio's a sophomore. He has 3 upperclassmen ahead of him, but he'll be a starter for them very soon. So they don't have great QB play. The last team I skipped over, but we definitely want to look at is going to be Stanford. Stanford, Matt Khalil Jr., one of the best O-linemen in the country. And they have Taylor Mays, senior safety. They got Andrew Luck, redshirt sophomore, one of the best quarterbacks in the country as a freshman last year. And then they got 2 free safeties. They got Stephon Gilmore, who's going to start for them this year, and they got young Tyrann Mathieu. So definitely some safeties there that we could see develop into really good players. Lastly, I just want to look at just some of the best players at position. So Terrell Pryor, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, and Andrew Luck. Those are kind of the QBs we're keeping our eye on. LaShawn McCoy at Pitt for running back. And then there's also at Bama, Mark Ingram. He's really good. Wide receiver, Golden Tate, one of the best receivers in the country. And then it's like a lot of young guys right now who are waiting to kind of develop. Tight end, Trav is going to be right up there. Yeah, Travis Kelce at Nebraska. DNs, yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of some of the really impact players. That's some of the best teams in the country. We are now going to sim to kind of the mid-season point. Then we'll take a look at recruiting and we'll take a look at the top 25 and see where everyone's sitting. All right. So mid-season point, we're going to look at recruiting here. So first up, we have Johnny Manziel, and he commits to Texas. So Texas gets their QB of the future. He's picking them over Oklahoma and A&M. Then we have Marcus Mariota. Now, he is still up for grabs. It's down to Clemson, Oregon, LSU, Texas on the outside looking in. Really hope he doesn't go there. They already have Johnny. But Oregon, Clemson, LSU, those are 3 really good programs. Then we have Braxton Miller, and he turns his back on Ohio State and is going to go to their arch rival Michigan, locked in there. And then lastly, we have Teddy Bridgewater, and he's going to go to LSU. So that makes me really kind of hope Marcus Mariota doesn't go there. I like when the QBs all spread out to different schools, but there it is. Teddy going to go to LSU. Okay, running backs. First one in the class, Melvin Gordon, still up in the air. He's looking at Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, Wisconsin, West Virginia are his top 4 right now. Then we have Devontae Freeman, and he is locked in at Tennessee. So Tennessee kind of looked like they kind of ran away with it there. And then we have DeAnthony Thomas. So he's going to go to Texas. LaMichael James is already there. They just got Johnny Manziel, and now they get DeAnthony Thomas. So if they get one of these impact receivers, they could have a really fun offense here coming up. So first at wide receiver, and Mike Evans goes to LSU. So he could play with Teddy Bridgewater, possibly Marcus Mariota, but they get a really good number 1 receiver at LSU. Then, oh my goodness, Wisconsin is insane with the receivers. So they have Julio Jones already. Devontae Adams commits to Wisconsin. Crazy. Over Ohio State and Michigan State. There we go. Sammy Watkins commits to Penn State. So it's Penn State over Clemson and Alabama. Sammy locked in. I like it. Next up, we have Odell Beckham Jr. And wow, kind of a weird Pitt is kind of running away with OBJ. Kind of a weird fit. Georgia and Clemson still look like they might have a shot though. Next up, we have Brandon Cooks, and he's looking like UAB, Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, UNC. Doesn't look like he's getting recruited super heavy yet. And then lastly, we have Jarvis Landry, and it looks like Mississippi State or LSU are going to be his two schools no matter 100%. So Mississippi State looks like the inside track, but LSU still has a shot. Moving on to tight end, we got Austin Seferian Jenkins, and he locks in at West Virginia. So West Virginia gets the number one tight end. Offensive tackle, we have Lael Collins goes to LSU. So another big pickup for LSU there. Just narrowly beat out Texas for Lael Collins. Cyrus is going to go to Georgia. So Georgia over Florida State, Michigan, and Ohio State. They lock him in. And then Greg Robinson is looking like Texas or Tulane. So it could be a nice pickup for Texas there. Okay, for D ends, and LSU gets another guy with Stephon Tuitt. So they are putting together a really nice class. He picks LSU over Tennessee and Georgia. Move on to Timmy Jernigan, and he picks Nebraska. So Nebraska gets the best interior pass rusher in the class. Moving on to Jadeveon Clowney, and he locks in at Georgia. So the Georgia Bulldogs get Jadeveon Clowney. Huge pickup. Goes there over Tennessee and Alabama. And then Florida State gets Ryan Shazier. So instead of going up north to Ohio State in real life, he stays in Florida, goes to Florida State, picks them over Georgia and West Virginia. Okay, for corner, we have Marcus Peters, and he goes to Stanford. So going to go play with Andrew Luck. He picks Stanford over Utah, Washington, and Oregon. Then for safeties, Clinton Dix, looking like Miami, Florida, and Clemson are his top three. Penn State looks like maybe they have a shot as well. And then lastly, we have Quandre Diggs, and Quandre locks in at Texas. So they get Johnny Manziel, they get Quandre Diggs, they get DeAnthony Thomas. So three good players there. Picks Texas over Oklahoma. We'll look at recruiting again one more time, see where all the last guys end up at the end of the season at National Signing Day. Okay, now we are going to look at top 25 here. So Oregon, 8-1, but 91 overall, looking really good. Washington, undefeated. Ole Miss, undefeated. West Virginia, undefeated. Wisconsin, 7-1. Auburn, Kansas State, NC State, Texas, Charlotte, UAB. We have some wild schools in the top. Ohio State, Florida State, outside looking in Stanford. We need some of those schools to make it. We need some of our QBs to watch. Yeah, so that's where we're sitting. Stanford, Georgia on the outside looking in, Texas, Tennessee, Marshall 7-1. So RG3, we might be able to see RG3 go on a run here. I'd like to see it. Notre Dame, nowhere to be found. Heisman watch, Miami QB, Washington QB, UConn QB. So at least we're getting some QBs, receiver from UW, and Western Kentucky's quarterback. Okay, we'll look at some of the season stats here really quick. So pass yards per game, Miami's leading the country, BYU, Washington, LSU. So Cam Newton, 308 right now, 29 touchdowns, 6 picks. So he is having a good year. Maybe not quite as good as last year. Derek Carr having a nice freshman campaign for USC, 23 touchdowns, 6 picks, almost 300 pass yards a game. Terrell Pryor, not quite as good of a year this year. Not bad, but maybe just not quite. I'm seeing no Russell. Well, there's Andrew Luck finally. 20 touchdowns, 4 picks, 233 a game. They also might be just trying to run the ball more. So that's fine. Rushing, Auburn's running back. So LaShawn McCoy, 4th in the country. LaMichael James, 5th as a sophomore. So a couple of our backs high there. What about Mark Ingram? No Ingram. So I don't know. Bama might not be really running the ball right now. Receiving, Washington's receiver, 133 yards a game, having a big year. Do we have any other guys? Nothing to be found right now. Josh Gordon. Oh yeah, Josh Gordon's at TCU, redshirt freshman. Nice year, honestly. 84 yards a game as a redshirt freshman is really good. It's kind of it right now. We'll do a deeper dive once again at the end of the year. Okay. So we are going to sim to conference championship weekend, see where we're sitting. Here we are, conference championship weekend. We got West Virginia versus Kansas State, 1 versus 4. Marshall versus Louisiana Monroe, Tennessee Ole Miss, Charlotte UAB, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Stanford, NC State. None of those games really grabbed me, so we're just going to advance and we'll see what the bracket looks like. I'm really hoping Ohio State, Florida State, and Stanford made it. I want to see these QBs play. Okay, let's see here. You got the bracket. So Stanford, Ohio State, round 1. That's a big matchup. We're watching that. That's Andrew Luck, Terrell Pryor. Kansas State, NC State, Ole Miss, Wisconsin gets the byes. Oregon, Charlotte, West Virginia, UAB, and then Florida State, Tennessee. So we do a Cam Newton in it as well. But we are for sure watching Stanford, Ohio State. We are watching that right here, right now. Okay, so there's the Heisman winner. Tulane wide receiver wins it. Fair enough. But here we go. Ohio State, Stanford. Let's get into it. We're watching this right here. Ohio State's only 8-4, but made the playoff. Big Ten's tough. You're playing good schools, but 88 versus 89, both really good on offense. Looks like Ohio State has a bit better defense, but gonna be a great matchup. Okay, here we go. Stanford, Ohio State, first round. This is in Stanford, I think. And we are gonna sim through the first quarter here. So 0-0. 7-0 Stanford, 7-7. So good start to this game. Gonna start hopping in here soon. 1st and 10. Oh, big get run there. 32-yard run. 2nd and 5. 3rd and 2. We're gonna watch right here. So Andrew Luck in at quarterback for Stanford. 2x2 tight set. What do you got for us here, Andrew? Gonna drop back. Fired over the middle. Easy yards. Easy completion down inside the 3-yard line. That was just pitch and catch right there. Jump to next play. And they score 2-yard rushing touchdown for Stanford. They got 14-7. 15-yard rush Ohio State. Another nice rush. 3rd and 1. So we'll watch here. Let's see if they convert this. So Pryor in shotgun here. Trips to the top. Here we go. Pryor drops back. Slant over the middle. Oh, it got knocked out. I was going to say nice catch, but the Stanford DB meets him at the catch point, gets the knockout, and it is going to be Stanford football. They get a 10-yard penalty on the offense. They're in 3rd and 10 right here. Let's see if Luck can convert this. So Andrew trips to the top. Backed up in your own end zone. What do you got for us here? Luck drops back, 4-man rush, fires in over the top, little comeback right there, sitting down, finds a soft spot. Luck finds him. 1st down, Stanford. 5-yard penalty, 2nd and 3, 3rd and 5. Ooh, and they're going to have to punt here. Ohio State football at the 40, 3rd and 6 already, though. So Ohio State's offense kind of having trouble getting going here. Here's Pryor in shotgun. Trips to the bottom. Pryor directing traffic. Gonna fake the handoff. Little pop pass. Oh, he dropped it. Another one at the catch point where the Stanford defensive backs are just doing a great job. Meet him at the catch point and knock out that football. 3rd and 5 here, Stanford. They're going to punt. So we got a few punts back and forth. 2nd and 10. Okay, there's a big gain. 26-yard pass. Then what happened? Okay, so they scored a touchdown. It wouldn't pop up. So not sure how. Ohio State scores 14 all. 1st and 10, Stanford. 2nd and 7. 1st and 10, 11-yard catch. 2nd and 10. 1st and 10 on the 33 for Stanford. 2nd and 5. 2nd and 10. We're going to watch from here. 47 seconds left. We'll watch some of this drive here. So let's see if Andrew Luck can close the deal here, take a 7-point lead, or can Ohio State's defense stand strong? 4-man rush, no blitz. Fires a little out route. Caught on the sideline. Really like how Andrew Luck is playing whenever we're watching. Just looks really calm, composed. Oh, I wanted to watch that play. But here we are, down at the 6. 36 seconds left. Stanford does have 1 timeout. Here's Luck. Drops back, up, over the top, back corner of the end zone. Touchdown. Great catch. Sliding, keeping 2 feet in bounds. And Stanford is going to take the lead. Most likely take the lead into the half unless Terrell Pryor can do something wild here. 23 seconds, 19, 15. Oh, we actually got some yards there. Down to the 35. So we're going to watch right here. 10 seconds, running clock. Ohio State has no timeouts. You got to put this up right here, Terrell. Quick little out route. Does he get out of bounds? No, they said he didn't get out of bounds, so the clock stays running. Ohio State is not going to get any points there. It is going to be a 21-14 Stanford Cardinal lead going into the half. Okay, so just after the half here, we are going to sim through the third quarter. 21-14, staying there. 21-17, 24-21 Ohio State. So they take a lead. They get 10 points in the third quarter. Take the lead over the Cardinal. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 3 here for Stanford. Let's see what they got. In field goal range, so they can tie this up if they're not able to convert here. They're going empty, quads to the bottom. Luck drops back, fires a little screen pass, and they're going to convert. Nice throw, or nice play design. 2nd and 8, 3rd and 2, and they score a touchdown. 12-yard run. Stanford takes the lead now. We got a 3rd and 4 here for Ohio State. Let's see what Terrell can do. Stadium pulse is going off. The Stanford crowd is jumping. Here we go on the outside. Call held on. We have not seen very much good things when we're watching the Ohio State offense. So there they are able to hold down on 3rd down. 1st and 10, 2nd and 16, 3rd and 14. Tough spot here for Ohio State. Not quite at midfield. 3rd and long, 7 minutes left. You do not want to just punt this ball to Stanford. What can Terrell Pryor do? They're bringing a bit of a blitz. He's trying to pull it and run. Gets tackled behind the line for a big sack. Now you got to punt this ball and hope your defense can make a play. Oh my God, 51-yard rushing touchdown for Stanford. I thought that was the punt. Okay, so next play. All of a sudden, Stanford is up 11. It is go time for Ohio State. They get a nice pass there, but they're already on 3rd and 8. This might even be 4 down territory here. 5:50 left, down 11. You need 2 scores. Pryor drops back, slides, incomplete. Wow. This Ohio State offense is just slugging it a little bit. Oh, they picked that up though. No, they went for it on 4th down. They're short. Stanford has the ball. 2nd and 10, 3rd and 6, and they're on the 32-yard line. So probably in field goal range already. This one might be over. Here's Andrew Luck. Drops back, fires it. Oh my God. Okay, I was gonna say that would be a great catch. Not able to hold on. Can go up 14 here with a field goal. No, they punt. So they decide to punt. Ohio State, you got a shot, an outside shot here, 3rd and 1. They convert, big rush there by Terrell Pryor for 21. 1st and 10, down to the 11. Okay, we're going to watch from here. 2:57 left. If you're Ohio State, not only do you want to score, but you want to score quickly here. You want to keep as much time on the clock as you can. Pryor fires it down to the 1. He pushes his way in. Touchdown, Ohio State. They cut the lead down to, barring the extra point, 3, I believe. Oh, they went for 2. Okay. So now they're down 5. So they need a stop and a touchdown here. 2nd and 9, 3rd and 7. Play of the day right here. So it's going to be 2-minute warning, but then play of the day. If Stanford converts, they might be able to put this one on ice. If Ohio State can get a stop, they have a shot to go down and win this. Andrew Luck in empty. 3rd and 7, fires over the middle, wide open. Nobody within 6-7 yards of him. Sits down in the zone. Ohio State's down to 1 timeout. That might do it. Unless something wild happens. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 5. So this is it. If Stanford picks up a 1st down, this one is over. Ohio State has no timeouts. 3rd and 5, 47-yard line. Andrew Luck, shotgun. He's going to take off. He's going to spin, go to the sideline. He's short, out of bounds. Wow. He did a little half roll, thought he had his man on the sideline, doesn't. They have to punt that football. And honestly, they get a 17-yard punt return, but they get a sacked on the 1st down. Carlos Dunlap with the sack for Stanford. 3rd and 18 here. Oh no. So Ohio State has a shot, but they need a miracle right here. 3rd and 18 on their own 20-yard line. What do you got, Terrell? 4 down lineman, 4-man rush out, misses the corner route. Looked like he had a guy kind of open. It would have been a tough throw though. Here it is. So this is it for Ohio State. They need 18 yards on 4th down here, or Stanford is going to advance in the playoff. Here it is. Luck Pryor drops back, down the seam, picked off. I think that's Taylor Mays. Taylor Mays picks him off, and that is it. That is going to do it. Walk off. Sorry, Terrell Pryor. You are not advancing. Stanford wins it. Great game, honestly. That will do it. So the Stanford Cardinal advance. Andrew Luck. Taylor Mays caps it off with an interception at the end there, and they are going to the next round. 223, 2 touchdowns for Andrew Luck. Had a nice game. Only a sophomore as well. So if he doesn't leave early, we could see him for 2 more full seasons. Terrell, nice throw there, but not enough. Okay, so we're going to advance through the rest of those games, and then we'll look at the results here. So Stanford advances, they're going to play Kansas State. Oregon advances, they're going to play NC State. West Virginia is going to play Wisconsin. Florida State beats Tennessee. They are going to play Ole Miss. So we are going to sim one more game here, one round, and then we'll watch some of the games in the next round. Really hoping, I want to see a Stanford Florida State final. If we could get that, that's like goals. Andrew Luck versus Cam in the final. Come on. Stanford advances, Florida State goes down by 4. So we got Stanford, NC State, Wisconsin, Ole Miss. I'm kind of hoping Wisconsin-Stanford final would be cool, but we're going to watch Stanford again this week right here. Okay, so here we go. 88 versus 84. Stanford definitely has the better team on paper, but we'll see. Okay, so here we go for a chance to go to the national championship. Going to sim through the first quarter here. 0-0, 3-0 Stanford, 10-0 Stanford. So Stanford has the lead. Stanford ball, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2. They convert. 2nd and 6, 3rd and 3. We'll watch here. So Luck in for the Cardinal. 3rd and 3. Could be a handoff. Yep, gonna hand it off. Get downhill. Don't stop your feet on 3rd and short, but they are able to convert. 2nd and 8, 3rd and 4. Gonna have to punt there on 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4. NC State. Oh, and they get picked off for a touchdown. Throw a pick 6. Stanford up 17-0. NC State. Yeah, they feel like they're a little overmatched right now. 2nd and 8, 3rd and 7. Let's watch what Luck can do here. Just feels a little overmatched for NC State. They're 11-3, so they have a good record, but Luck drops back, plenty of time, hits a little rail. Oh my gosh. Tries to throw the rail route, and his running back gets destroyed there. Great hit. NC State football, 2nd and 5, 1st and 10, 1st and 10 at the 11, 2nd and 16, 2nd and 11, 3rd and 9 from the 10. So we'll watch NC State here. Let's see if they can convert. I mean, you got a touchdown here before the half, only a 10-point game. It's doable. You need some points here, though, if you're NC State, and they're going down with a sack. On cue a little bit there, so gonna be 4th down, gonna have to take your 3, and Stanford is gonna have time here at the end of the second quarter to try to get some points. 3rd and 9, don't convert, so NC State football now, 2nd and 14, big play. Down inside the 17, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 5. So all of a sudden NC State, they got no points. So he must have went for it on 4th down and didn't convert. I didn't even realize that. I was going to say they could cut it to 17-10, but end zone touchdown. Touchdown NC State. Big play there. They cut it down to a 10-point game. Stanford does have a bit of time here, not a ton. It's a 3rd and 3, 1st and 10. No, they're not going to have time. Okay, so we're going to sim through the 3rd quarter now, and we'll see where we sit. 17-7 as of right now. 17-14. 17-14. 17-14. Okay. So all of a sudden, NC State doing work. Stanford not really doing much on offense here. Here's a 3rd and 4 for NC State on their own 40-yard line. 2 receivers to the bottom. They're going to run draw. Oh, the D tackle was right there. Could have had him for a loss, but instead they pick up the 1st down. Wow. So NC State, they get a 24-yard rush. 2nd and 6, 1st and 10 at the 15, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4 at the 8. They can take a lead right here. At worst, though, they can kick a field goal and tie this one. So drops back, brought a bit of a blitz. They have pressure. You got to come. You got to make a tackle. What? Just walks into the end zone. NC State takes the lead over Stanford. They had a 17-0 lead. Now it is all up to Luck. Can he lead them on a drive? 3rd and 3, 4th and 3. They punt. 2nd and 7, 3rd and 2 here for NC State. They can put this one away here. You score a touchdown, you're going to be up 10 with or you're going to be up 11 with 4 minutes left. NC State, quick slant, holds onto that football. Hit him at the catch point, but he held on. NC State, this would be a massive upset. 2nd 11, 3rd and 14. Okay, if you're Stanford and you let them convert this 3rd and 14, I don't even know what to say. You don't deserve to go to the national championship for sure. NC State drops back, fires it wide open. 3rd and 14, picks up about 25 on the play. Stanford is on the ropes. Not looking good for the Cardinals. 2nd and 8. 1st and goal from the 4. And they score. 4-yard rush. 28-17. Andrew Luck, you are going to have to make magic happen, my guy. There it is. 33-yard reception. 2nd and 7. 3rd and 7. 4th and 7. Got to be 4-down territory we're going to watch. What is this? Oh, it's that weird glitch where they put out the wrong personnel. Somebody's going to get an offside, I think. It is such a weird glitch. I don't even know. I think NC State's going to get an offside there. And I don't know why. Every once in a while with the Super Sim, it'll do that. It's super weird. So now it's going to be 4th and 2. So Stanford kind of comes out on top there. But let's see. Okay, so they have their normal offense. They're going to go under center. This is it. You need to convert this. NC State has a lot of beef out there. They're going to hand the ball off. They're going to convert. You need a score and a stop if you're Stanford. 2nd and 6, 3rd and 6. We'll watch here from the 28-yard line. Andrew Luck in shotgun. Luck drops back. Going to go up over the top. Little comeback. Gets out of bounds. Nice conversion. 2nd and 9. 1st and goal from the 1. So let's see if they can just punch us in. You got to hurry too. You want to get this in right away here. You want as much time left on the clock if you're Stanford as you can. They're going to pass Luck. Don't take a sack. You can't take a sack there, Andrew Luck. Oh my gosh. That is horrible. 2:33 left. Now pressure's on. You got to get 7 here. Luck. End zone, touchdown. Wow, good throw, Andrew. Has that little skinny post in front of the corner. Fires it in, took a bad sack, comes back, throws the touchdown the next play. They went for 2, they don't convert, so they're down 5. NC State, 2nd and 8, 3rd and 8. Oh my gosh, they could get off the field in a hurry here if you're Stanford. If NC State converts this, though, Stanford's down to 2 timeouts. NC State drops back. They're going up over the top. Double coverage. No. Incomplete. Stanford's right there. Gets the knockout, and NC State is going to have to punt this ball to Andrew Luck, who's going to have a 2-minute drive here. 10-yard reception. Okay, we're going to watch from right here. 25 on the 25, 141 left. Chance to book your ticket to the national championship for Andrew Luck. Luck drops back. Fires a little slant, picks up 8 yards. You will take it. Okay, 2nd and 2. NC State crowding the line. This looks like it could be a 0-man blitz. Lots of guys near the line. They're going to do a little pop pass, get it out to their receiver. Breaks a tackle down inside the 5-6-yard line. 127 left. So even if they score here, they're actually going to leave NC State quite a bit of time, and NC State has 3 timeouts. So, okay, here's Luck. Drops back. End zone touchdown. 2 feet in. What a catch. What a drive by Andrew Luck and the Stanford Cardinal. They were down 11 with 3:40 left. 2 touchdowns here. Probably going to go for 2 and try to go up 3. Luck just pinpoint back corner of the end zone. Boom. Or back of the end zone. Just got that toe in bounds. We are going to watch a 2-point conversion. This is actually massive. You do not only want to be up 1 if you're Stanford. NC State will have a chance to just go kick a field goal to win it. Luck, he's going to have to get out. Fires that. That's incomplete. NC State now only down 1. They don't need much. You just got to get in field goal range. They start with a 6-yard gain. Ooh, and then a fumble. Fumble recovered by Stanford. Oh, that is going to do it. 2nd and 12, 3rd and 9. NC State does have, they have no timeouts. So it's just going to be victory formation here for Stanford. Wow, what a comeback. And Andrew Luck leads Stanford. 4th quarter comeback. They are going to go to the national championship. Crazy. NC State fumbles away their shot, and there it is. The Cardinal faithful are freaking out. They are pumped. They are jacked. Okay, so we'll see. It's either going to be Wisconsin or can't remember who the other school that they're going to play, but we'll see. Okay, so it's going to be Ole Miss, who's 14-1. So Ole Miss having a great season. We will see if Andrew Luck can lead Stanford to the promised land here. They did win in 2005 as well, so they would be the first team to win 2 national championships. You wouldn't have picked that before this sim started, but they're building themselves quite a program there at Stanford. They have Andrew Luck. They're in a national championship. He's only a sophomore, so if he doesn't leave early, they have a chance to repeat next year. So let's see. We are going to sim through this quarter. 0-0, 7-0 Stanford. There we go. Okay, 7-0 Stanford here to start. 4th and 8. Now Stanford ball. 2nd and 5. 3rd and 2 from the 43. We'll watch here. Luck, they are going to be in shotgun here. 2-by-2 look. Tight formation. Luck, little RPO, and he's going to get sacked going down by Ole Miss. Big sack there for 2nd and 10, 3rd and 5. They punt. Okay, Stanford 2nd and 3, 1st and 10. Big play. 2nd and 12, 3rd and 10 from the 46. We'll see here. Luck in shotgun. What do you got for us here, Andrew? Drops back, 3-man rush, up over the top. That's a tight window. Ole Miss gets the knock. Offense yet to really come alive for the Rebels, but we will see. They have a shot here. 5 minutes left. They want to get some points. QB drops back, fires it down the seam. Mays hits him as he, kind of catches it there. That's only 64 yards passing for Ole Miss. So that's their really first big play through the air. 2nd and 5, 1st and 10, 2nd and 11, 1st and 10 down to the 23. 1st and goal from the 7. 2nd and goal, and they punch it in. So there it is, Ole Miss touchdown. Here we got Stanford. 2nd and 6, 3rd and 6, they convert. 1st and 15, 2nd and 14, 1st and 10, 1st and 10, and then they get a 38-yard touchdown. Okay, so all of a sudden the offenses are coming alive here. Ole Miss starts their drive with a 14-yard reception, then a 16-yard reception. 2nd and 20, 3rd and 20. Okay, so all of a sudden Ole Miss kind of behind the chains here. Don't want to get too aggressive with only 40 seconds left in the half. You don't want to throw a pick. You don't want to fumble here. I'm probably just going to run the ball. Yeah, they're just going to run it up ahead, pick up 3 to 4 yards. Going to have to punt that ball. You don't want to do something crazy there. You're in this one. You don't want to give this game away if you're Ole Miss. So we are going to sim through the 3rd quarter, and all of a sudden 21-7, 21-10, 21-16. So Stanford got a touchdown, but then a couple of scores there for Ole Miss. So still a 1-possession game here. 2nd and 5 Ole Miss, 1st and 10, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 4 from the 42. We'll check this out. 42-yard line. What do we got? Drops back. Oh, just hit as he throws. Gonna have to punt that football back to Andrew Luck here to start the 4th quarter. 9 minutes left. Andrew Luck and the Cardinal up 5. 1st and 10 from the 6, 2nd and 7, 3rd and 5 from your own 11. You want to convert, but you also want to be careful here. An interception, a fumble would be an absolute killer for Stanford. Luck drops back. Plenty of time over the middle. Oh, great hit by Ole Miss. Knocks it out at the catch point. Luck has tried a few tight window throws when we've been watching. Not able to fit them in. 2nd and 8, now 3rd and 7 already for Ole Miss. They're at their own 39-yard line. So a 1st down here and you can really start cooking. If not, you can punt and really put Stanford back. Oh, that could have been picked. Those across the body throws in this have been dangerous. We've seen quite a few pick sixes on that. Able to get the knockout there. 27-yard punt only, and then Stanford starts with a 28-yard throw. Loss of 3, 3rd and 11. huge down right here. Out of field goal range, you pick up 7-8 yards, you can kick a field goal. You kick up a first down, you might be able to put this one away. Luck, up over the top, touchdown! Touchdown, Stanford. Andrew Luck stands tall on 3rd and 11, finds his stud receiver up over the top, and it's not over, but that might do it for Stanford. Nick Breida, this kid has been a superstar. Every time we watch, this guy is making a ton of plays. Luck just floats that up. Looks like maybe they were running press coverage on the outside with Ole Miss. Beats the press, and Breida scores from 40 yards out. 11-point game. Ole Miss is going to have some magic now. They start with a nice return, 6-yard run, do get a first down, 1st and 5, 1st and 15, 2nd and 11, 1st and 10. They get a 27-yard catch, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 2 from the 21. We are going to watch here. Still 5 minutes left. Lots of time if you're Ole Miss, but you need to score some points. Even a field goal here you would probably take, but I mean, you're trying to get 7. Fake pop pass. Fires it up the seam, down to the 2-yard line, 1-yard line. This guy is 73 yards passing. I don't know how they're moving the ball, but they get it down to the 1 and they punch it in the next down. They kick an extra point. They are down 5. Andrew Luck, what are you going to do here? Incomplete. 3rd and 10 already. 2 straight incompletions, 3rd and 10. Last time we watched Luck on 3rd down, he made magic. Let's see if he can do it again. 4 minutes left. Ole Miss down 5. They're bringing a blitz. Luck over the... Okay, we're going to advance. So there it is. Ole Miss is going to get this football back. Great punt. A 59-yard punt down to like the 8-yard line. Crazy. Then a penalty, 2nd and 12. Okay, 3rd and 8. Now, if you're Ole Miss here, if you don't convert, you can punt. You still have three timeouts. You are fine, but obviously you want to convert this. Ole Miss drops back, throws a little out route, knockdown. Stanford maybe could have got 2 hands on that. They get the knockdown instead. 4th and 8, gonna have to punt, obviously not. Oh my gosh. 15-yard return on only a 30-yard punt, and Andrew Luck gets the ball on the 21-yard line. Lost some downs, but I mean, you can even kick a field goal here. 3rd and 13. Luck, don't take a sack if you're Stanford. You do want to score a touchdown, obviously, but you cannot take a sack. They're bringing a blitz. Oh, hit as he popped up. That could have been a pick 6. It got popped up in the air. The D lineman had his hands on it. They are able to kick the field goal, and now you're up 8. So... tough spot if you're Ole Miss. You just need a touchdown. You need a 2-point conversion. Already down to 4th and 5, though. They are going to go for it here. They do have 3 timeouts, so you could have punted, but they're going to say, hey, we just want to go get points right here, right now. Quick throw over the middle, holds on. Great reception there. That receiver has 96 yards. Great conversion on 4th down, and then they answer right back with a 21-yard gain. Then another 21-yard gain down to and then another 13-yard gain, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10, 4th and 8. Okay, here is the ball game. I maybe would have even kicked a field goal. You have 3 timeouts because then you're going to need a 2-point conversion, but they're going to go for it. Here we go. Up over the top, end zone, incomplete. Wow, the DB was right there, and the Ole Miss does have 3 timeouts, I guess. You could get the ball back with a little bit of time. 2nd and 9, 3rd and 11. 1 timeout left for Ole Miss. If Andrew Luck converts this, they will win the national championship. If they don't, Ole Miss still has a shot. 3rd and 11, Luck. Oh, they're just going to hand it off. Force them to use their timeout. Oh my gosh, he almost broke that tackle. So you're going to rely on your defense here if you're Stanford. You're going to punt this football away. You're going to say, hey, we don't think they can drive down with no timeouts. Get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. 2nd and 10, 3rd and 5, 1st and 10, 2nd and 8, 3rd and 14. We'll watch from here. This one looks like it's over, though. They got 14 seconds. They got to go the length of the field here. Quick little throw to the outside, and that is going to do it. I guess they were just trying to get out of bounds. That is going to do it. Andrew Luck and the Stanford Cardinal, unless they can hit a Hail Mary right here. Oh, they do get it off, so it's a Hail Mary. You got to go end zone. Oh my God, it's 1-on-1. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't even know how you do that. How do you go one-on-one coverage on the outside and leave the guy wide open? 1 second left, like a 70-yard bomb. How do you not play prevent defense? I don't even know what to say. One-on-one on the outside and just beats Taylor Mays over the top. I don't know why you have a safety one-on-one with a wide receiver. Oh my goodness. I literally said Stanford wins it. They got that ball off with literally 0.1 seconds left. Like they basically didn't even get that ball off. I am shocked. How do you do that if you're Stanford? I don't know what's happening here. This better not be some glitch or something. Okay, so here it is. 2-point conversion. Somehow I'm controlling Stanford. I don't know. They're gonna run pop pass and they stop them. I don't know what happened there. Editor, don't put any cuts. You seen, I wasn't trying to call defense. Somehow I was controlling them. What a crazy finish. Oh my goodness. Ole Miss loses on the 2-point conversion to go to overtime and Stanford holds on. That would have been the biggest collapse ever. Holy, there's Andrew Luck just open mouth going wild. And the Cardinal do it. Stanford, our first repeat champion. They won in 2005. They win here. Absolute insanity. I just don't understand how you call that coverage. Andrew Luck, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Really good day. Ole Miss, an absolute heartbreaker. What a way to end this video. So this is the last season. We still are going to look at all the recruiting and stuff. But, we still have 2 more episodes coming for this series. So we have lots to go. But wow, that is just an insane finish. Crazy way to end this. But Andrew Luck, as a sophomore, wins it at Stanford. They have a shot to go on a run. I mean, if he doesn't leave early, everything's on the table. He's only a sophomore. So we're going to look at the final top 25 here. Stanford, Ole Miss, Kansas State, Wisconsin, West Virginia, Oregon, Florida State, NC State, Texas, UAB, Washington, Ohio State, Notre Dame. So Notre Dame did almost make the playoff with Russell. And Russell's a senior, so he's done, unfortunately. So we never really got to see him live. Heisman, we saw the receiver won it. Western Kentucky's quarterback, Kansas State, Miami's quarterbacks were in the running as well. All-Americans, Travis Kelce at Nebraska, Matt Khalil, Gerald McCoy on the D-line, Eric Berry at safety. Second team, Marvin Austin at D-tackle for Ohio State. Then for freshmen, Derek Carr gets it, Josh Gordon gets it, Chance Warmack, Bobby Wagner, Manti Te'o. So a pretty good group of freshmen this year. Okay, we'll look at season stats here. So Cam Newton gets second in the country in passing with 4,400 yards. We'll look at yards per game, though. So Cam was still pretty high. We got Derek Carr, great freshman campaign. USC could have a superstar on their hands. They're going to have to, I guess they're in different conferences. I was going to say USC and Stanford are going to have to play each other, but they're really not. Russell Wilson, 36 touchdowns, 7 picks in his final season of college football. Terrell Pryor, unless he leaves early, going to be back for 1 more year, had a nice year as well. There was Andrew Luck. They kind of run the ball a bit too, but hey, he gets it done, wins the national championship. Rushing, LaShawn McCoy gets 4th in the country. LaMichael James, pretty high up there as well, only a freshman or a sophomore. Terrell Pryor at 572 as a QB, so he had a nice year. Receiving, Josh Gordon had over 1,000 yards as a redshirt freshman, so he looks like he's going to be a really good player at TCU. No Golden Tate at Clemson. I don't know if they just didn't really throw the ball as much this year or what, but so here defensively, that's tackles. Here's sacks. This guy had 13 for Stanford, and then no one else has more than 7.5, just weird. 7 picks there. So that is where we are at. Okay, so we are going to advance here to National Signing Day. We'll look at the transfer portal, and we will look at the last bit of recruiting here. Okay, so transfer portal. Let's see if we got anybody big. We got Tyron Smith leaves LSU to go to Ole Miss. Wow. So Tyron, LSU just had a great recruiting class. That's kind of surprising. Eddie Lacy leaves LSU as well. So a few guys leaving LSU. I don't know what's going on there. Sharif Floyd leaves Ohio State for Toledo. So that was kind of the most action we've seen in the transfer portal. Look at QBs in case there's just one I missed. No, so no QBs. Okay, we're going to go through the recruiting, though. We do know where a lot of these guys ended up, but we'll see. So Johnny Football ends up at Texas, which we knew. Clemson locks down Marcus Mariota. Huge pickup there. Braxton Miller ends up at Michigan, and then LSU gets Teddy Bridgewater. Running back, Notre Dame picks up Melvin Gordon. Great pickup there. Devontae Freeman ends up at Tennessee, which we knew. And then we knew Texas ends up with DeAnthony Thomas. Wideouts. Ole Miss flips. Okay, so LSU had Mike Evans, and he ends up at Ole Miss. So there we go. Huge flip there. Wisconsin keeps Devontae Adams. Penn State keeps Sammy Watkins. Odell ends up at Georgia. Brandon Cooks ends up at Michigan, so nice pickup for them. And then lastly, LSU gets Jarvis Landry, where he went in real life. Tight end, West Virginia keeps Austin Seferian-Jenkins. At offensive tackle, okay, so they didn't lose Lael Collins. So Lael Collins is going to go to LSU. Cyrus is going to go to Georgia, which we knew. And then, okay, so I thought Greg Robinson would end up at Texas, but he ends up at Tulane. Nice pickup for them. DNs, LSU holds on to Stephon Tuitt. Let's see if Jernigan stayed at Nebraska. He does. Let's see if our guy stayed at Georgia. He does. So Jadavon Clowney stays at Georgia. Florida State gets Ryan Shazier. Stanford keeps Marcus Peters. Clinton Dix ends up at Miami. And then Quandre Diggs probably stays at Texas, I am guessing. He does. So that is where we're going to wrap up the recruiting, guys. That is also going to wrap up this video. So, next episode is still coming. I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you made it this far, you might as well, leave a like on this video. Definitely sub to the channel. If you made it through this whole 3.5 hour video, you might as well. Plus, if you guys are, having fun playing this game and you actually you guys actually want to play online and improve, I actually have a channel where I break down the X's and O's, show you guys schemes based on real life teams and all of that in Madden and college football. So I'm going to leave a video up right here that you guys can click on where I show you guys how you can use the Alabama playbook to win a ton of games online, or even if you just want to use it in your dynasty mode, anything like that. So you guys can click that video right here if you guys want.